Warning, the following podcast is rated 80s and may not be suitable for some audiences. It will contain kidnapping, revenge, fire swamps, true love, poisons, ROUSs, cliffs of insanity, and there will be blood. Listener discretion is advised. And now, Rated 80s presents Comics on Film.
Not just your basic, average, everyday, ordinary, run-of-the-mill, ho-hum fairy tale.
All right, coming at you almost live from the hilltop of the gritty city, presented in glorious 2.53 stereophonic ultra hi-fi Mookie Vision. It's Comics on Film. I am here with my giant, Mr. Rusty.
How you doing?
Rusty the Giant, as he was known in Ever? Never?
Always.
No? Always? Okay.
I've been huge my whole life. So yeah.
Were you a tall guy? You were tall growing up, or were you little for a while growing up?
I was really little. Well, okay. So I was always big, but I wasn't always tall.
Oh, yeah?
So I spent most of I topped out at like 12 years old at like 5'2". And then all that way until I was like 17, and then I shot up almost an entire foot in a year. It was insane.
And then
like
it was
growing
payback
pains.
time.
Kind of.
Yeah, I got a lot taller late in high school also. I was a little guy, a little like dwarfy, like Willow type kind of person in proportion, not like funny ones, but like a small person where people would get confused and think that I was at the wrong school because we were next door to an elementary school, and in junior high they'd be, "Are you lost? You need to go back to 6th grade?"
See, but you're older now and you still look young.
Oh, I think you think I look younger because you've known me so long. I feel like I look fairly old, actually.
Yeah. All right.
So maybe, I don't know. The viewers at home, let us know.
The viewers.
Do I still have a baby face? I feel like less and less, but I'm going to try that keto diet. And
ketosis,
the keto diet, where I just eat O.J. Simpson's free food and don't testify against him for murder
or fight with a crime fighter.
Yeah.
Keto.
All right, our episode. This episode is the William Goldman, Rob Reiner classic, The Princess Bride.
Yeah.
A movie from the 80s that if you grew up in the 80s and spoke English, you have seen it, I believe.
Yeah.
Probably a half dozen times, and shared it with your children, and your parents watched it with you because it was engaging on so many levels.
Yeah, a lot of parents liked it in the 80s too.
Oh yeah,
man.
Everyone loved it. It didn't do great box office, but it did good enough box office that they did not hesitate to release it on video.
Yeah.
And it played a lot on TV and just found its audience over the years. And now it's considered one of the greatest movies ever made.
Yeah, easily. You can't really argue with it though. It literally has everything for everybody.
Yeah. It's got everything for everyone to the point where you can't actually throw this into a genre.
Not really.
It's kind of hard, It's like that Napoleon Dynamite. You know your friends will like it, but it's hard to explain to them exactly what it is because this is a meta movie. It's a movie within a movie.
I watched Napoleon Dynamite for the first time alone.
Mm-hmm. Hated it?
Doesn't work.
No.
It totally does not fucking work.
I did that too. Napoleon Dynamite, one time through, hated it, and then it kind of wormed its way into my head. I was thinking because it's just so weird.
The second I watched it with other people, though.
And then you get it.
It was perfect.
Yeah. Napoleon Dynamite was the movie that Netflix for the longest time could not figure out if a person would like. Based on any of them. Now they can't figure out any of them. So Netflix just gives you the worst recommendations in the world for the last year or so, it seems.
Yeah, it seems pretty shoddy.
Really dumb. But this
I can't decide. Are the stars for you or the stars for everybody on Netflix?
They keep changing it. I don't know.
Is it recommended? Because I'll get some things that are 5 stars.
I think they even took away the thing where you used to be able to say, "Don't show me this movie anymore because I have no interest in it." Is that still in Netflix?
I've never
currently?
Even seen that.
They used to have that.
Really?
I don't want this suggestion anymore, but it doesn't seem to do that anymore. They'll figure it out.
There's more movies on Netflix that are hidden from me.
Yeah, other people will tell you about stuff, and you're like, "Why is this not coming up in my suggestions?" We're pretty close in our movie taste, and you get all these different movies, and I get all these weird ones.
I mean, I'm a docu-nut, so I get tons of documentaries, and then because I never know, because I'll watch a documentary and I'll say it's 4.5 stars or whatever. And I'll start watching. I'm like, why is this so highly rated? Is it rated for me, or is that everybody's opinion?
It's trying to figure out what you like, but it's a computer, which is just a series of switches. So it's a dumb device. It's getting better, but it was a lot better. I feel like a year and a half ago than it is now. And while we're on the subject of video-on-demand services that are starting to suck, YouTube needs to stop with all the goddamn commercials on the mobile. Oh, it's driving me nuts.
I mean, they got to make their money, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, Google. I cry tears every day for Google. not making enough money.
No, but I mean, if you're gonna, you can't have that many, because everyone in the fucking world has seen YouTube. Mm-hmm. You can't have that many people and not try to make money off of it. That's not.
Oh yeah, they're making money already, and they just somebody somewhere in the organization, wants more money. Yeah. Well, all the world's problems can be solved if the richest people get a little bit richer. We're getting a little bit too political here for the Princess Bride.
Princess Bride was a political
episode.
Story.
Yeah.
And then the guy made it better.
Mm-hmm. This is a unique movie in a lot of ways. A big one is that the screenwriter had a pretty unprecedented level of control on this film. Because he wrote the book first. The book is a beloved book. Yeah. Also, it was beloved, I guess, from the moment it hit the shelves. And the book was written, I believe, on a road trip. William Goldman promised his daughters that he would write a book for them and they could name it. Yeah. And he gave me 2 words to name the book. And they said, Princess and Bride. Because they're chicks. Yeah. Like, they're small, girlish children. And they're going to say those 2 things. So they probably were not expecting anything like this, though, right?
Yeah. Well, but then it's written by a dad, so I kind of understand it now.
Princess and Bride, so then it's just total action almost the whole way through. But so he actually didn't write this for a couple of years. I don't know if he just needed them to shut up or what. I promise I'll write you a story, and then puts it on the back burner for a few years. Yeah. But when your dad is a world-renowned author who has 3 of the top 100 screenplays ever written on the AFI film list, this is one of them. I don't remember the other 2. Yeah. But you can Google that on your own. We'll put it in the show notes maybe if we ever start doing show notes for a wonderful podcast.
I do like how we work because I'm just purely like, I love this movie, and you actually research it.
If I had my druthers on this one, we would have put this off for another 3 or 4 weeks, and I would have done a lot more research on it. Yeah. We might do a revisiting episode because the more I dig into it, the more interested I am in the backstory of this movie.
So you'll just completely lose me. The more you explain the backstory, I'm like, I didn't know about that. This is nice.
Well, yeah, it's interesting stuff. I mean, there's an entire... So what I did in preparation for this podcast was I watched the movie, of course, which we always do unless it's a movie we remember Xeroxed into our brain. Like Die Hard, I would never have to watch again. I could almost write the screenplay for Die Hard and not miss a beat. Yeah. I've read the screenplay for Die Hard, and I've watched it so many times. And... But so usually we watch the movie, make sure we're all up to date, nothing's jumbled in our head about the flow. So I watched the movie on the Blu-ray, and it also has a commentary from Rob Reiner, so I watched about half of that. Nice. And then William Goldman also has a commentary, so I watched that. And then I went to iTunes, and the audiobook of the actual book, which is only a couple hours long, 2.5 hours long, I believe, is read by Rob Reiner. Grab that for $6 or $7 and listen to that. Which is, I have a long commute, so I get time to listen to things. Yeah. And then I also grabbed the audiobook of stories from how this movie was made, written by the guy who plays Wesley. Oh, nice. And I believe read by him, too, and then read by a lot of the other actors that were involved. A couple of them couldn't be involved in production of the audiobook. Yeah. All the different stories I remember, and I got not too far into that. That's why I would have pushed this out a week, because that's a 22-hour long... Fuck. I think it's actually 7 hours. But it's, it's a work day of listening. And I don't have Halo handy. That's my trick. If you want a good trick for listening to podcasts or audiobooks, throw on the Halo. Put it on Legendary if you're that kind of skilled. Play it on Legendary. It should be just challenging enough that you can still comprehend the audiobook, but you're not just sitting alone in a room reading. But you're
killing stuff at the same time.
Well, if you try and read and listen to an audiobook, it won't work.
Yeah, my show prep was I sat on my couch. I grabbed some barbecue chips, and I rewatched it like I was 5.
Yeah.
That's pretty much...
Good man.
Yeah. I don't know. The more
did you watch it with your kid? Did you force your kid through this one?
Oh, no, I didn't even have to force it. I was like, hey, have you seen The Princess Bride? It's like, no, I don't think I have.
Oh, my goodness.
Put it on. No.
CPS didn't take your door?
This was originally when she first watched it. Because the first DVD I ever bought Zoe that was hers to keep... was Never Ending Story. I was like, I remember the day I picked her up from daycare, and I was like, well, let's go check out a movie. Let's find a movie to watch. We'll get some food, and we'll watch a movie tonight, which is something we didn't really do at the time. And then we stopped by Fred Meyer's, and I was like, oh, Never Ending Story. I'm failing as a father. I have to pick this up. Grab that for her, and then I think the very next DVD was Princess Bride.
Oh, yeah. So she had seen it before.
Yeah, she had. And I remember bringing it up to her, because her mom's around, but she doesn't really hang out very much with her. So I'm not sure if her mom had already showed her these things or not.
We were talking before the show. The Princess Bride is interesting because I don't remember my first viewing of it.
No, me neither.
I vaguely remember thinking Fred Savage character is an unappreciative dick at like the age of 7. But it's a movie that you could pick up at any point in the movie if it's playing and be interested in it.
Oh, absolutely.
If you're channel surfing certain movies that Goodfellas. If Goodfellas on and you're channel surfing, if you still have TV, you Philistines, get an upgrade to that internet. Cut your cords. You don't need it. Video on demand these days. If Goodfellas is on, you could probably watch the rest of Goodfellas, no problem. If Gangs of New York is on, I could always watch the rest of Gangs of New York. And this is like that for a children's movie, which is essentially what this is. And so if it came on, Channel 11, Channel 4, ABC Movie of the Week or whatever, and you caught it halfway through and a man's being attacked by a giant rat, you just watch the rest of it and love it.
I kind of judge movies by that. If you're watching regular TV and there's still commercials and you actually sit through the commercials, that's a great movie at that point. Shawshank Redemption, fucking tons of movies like that.
Oh, yeah.
Goodfellas is like that, which is weird, though, because I'd never actually seen Goodfellas all the way through until about 2 years ago.
I think that might have been the case with me, too. To actually sit and deliberately watch it.
Yeah.
And you get sucked away from a movie. And if you got sucked away from a movie in the 80s or 90s, good luck. You better know the title of that movie, which wasn't easily available on your TV screen by bringing up the on-demand or the little menu on the Comcast box or whatever your horrible dictatorship of a cable company is. Yeah, if you didn't, or you have to go grab a newspaper and look through the TV listings in the newspaper.
Or TV Guide.
Or there was a TV Guide.
TV Guide. Every day when we go grocery shopping with my mom, she'd grab a TV Guide. And it was like, that was the thing. I remember
people love TV Guide.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness, we should just
do
an
around
episode.
Anymore?
Remember, it was like the preview channel or whatever when they first started doing the channel that just did the scrolling Amiga computer thing. It was named something else, and then eventually TV Guide, I think,
Channel
bought
2 or
the
something.
channel. Yeah. So, and your mileage will vary with how this happened with your particular cable company out there in podcast listener land. But yeah, so he wrote this book for his children, and the conceit of the book is that William Goldman, had been read this book by a fake author, and his father had read it to him, and he loved it, and he tried to get his son to read it. It was going to be like their family tradition. Gotcha. And so his son goes and checks out the book at the library and tries to read it, and he's asking him questions. Didn't you love this part? Didn't you love that part? And his son's like, yeah, sure. And then his wife goes, listen, he only read the first chapter, and I tried to read it, and it was, after the first chapter, it's kind of crap. He's like, what? No, this is the greatest story ever told by man. And he goes to the library, checks it out himself, and tries to read it. And he's like, there's so much crap in here.
Okay, so is this a mythos he created behind the book?
Yeah, this is a fake mythos.
All right, that's where I got lost. Because I heard somewhere that it was originally written by somebody else.
Yeah, I think S. Morgenstein or something like that. Yeah. S. Morgenstein's classic tale of adventure, blah, 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 blah. So the idea is that William Goldman, grabbed it, tried to read it again. He goes, oh yeah, there's too much, it's this fairy tale that covers this country of Florin, which is also not a real country. Yeah. And it just gets boring as soon as you get past the first chapter where Wesley's killed. Yeah. Spoiler alert. Happens in like 8 minutes into the movie. There will be spoilers in all of our podcasts now, and this is probably the only spoiler warning we'll ever give.
Well, we gave one for Neverending Story too, but it doesn't really matter.
Spoiler alert, at the end of A Song in Ice and Fire, Harry and Voldemort fight with the wand, the special wand made by the Elder Tree, the Elder Wand. And then Harry Potter is, should I stop? Actually, I'm giving you spoilers we got to do a Harry Potter episode pretty soon.
We will, definitely.
So spoiler alert, Wesley is killed at the beginning of the movie and at the beginning of the book. And then it goes into, I guess, the fake book. Yeah. Goes into boring politics of the country of Florin. Probably a whole chapter on why they want to have a war with Gilder.
Yeah.
And so he goes, well, this is crap. It's boring. My dad had it right. Calls his publisher and goes, hey, at 2 a.m. It's all very funny. It's all got this very kind of pervasive, glib, Jewish Catskills sense of humor that you associate with Miracle Max in this. But William Goldman's great at pulling that in. And so the whole book's kind of written in this tone. He's like, call my publisher at 2 a.m. I wake up, I'm going to abridge this book. Get the rights to it. And he does it. And that's the whole thing. So there's points in the book, as in the movie, that pull these, kind of fourth wall breaking. I don't know what the term is for literature, where he stops and he's like, listen, there was a scene here And, it's mostly just them kissing, and it's boring, so we're skipping it. My wife's mad at me, stuff like that. And in the movie, you have that also.
But from the kid, right?
From the kid like, hey, is there more kissing parts? Or the grandpa does that wonderful thing where he stops to go, you look pretty concerned. And he punks him. He totally punks that kid in that scene. But
I love Columbo in this. I do. Did you ever watch Columbo when you were a kid?
In the director's cut of this, at the end, after he's done reading the book, he then pins a murder on him. The whole thing was an experiment to see if he was the killer.
I was expecting as he's walking out of the door, one more thing.
So this is a movie. I've never met anyone who says they hate this movie.
I would be hard not to punch him.
Yeah,
it really would. Like, you can't say you hate this movie.
You're so quick to violence.
Well, I'm a guy.
Yeah. Okay, that's sexist.
What the fuck ever?
Men are violent. But we decided to do this.
This one happens to be. All right.
Okay. Rusty now has me in a chokehold.
That'd be too easy.
Noogie. I'm getting a noogie. So this movie, very beloved.
Yeah. It's hard not to. I mean, it's got literally, everything.
It did a surprisingly small amount of trade. It made back about 100% of its budget in the box office. It made back its budget, then 100% more.
Yeah, it was made for $16 million, and
they couldn't figure out how to sell it, they say, and I'm of two minds on that because it's such a genre blending thing. It's a fantasy book, but it's also a fairy tale, but it's also a satire, but it's also an action movie, and then there's a drama that's just been left on the cutting room floor.
Which I'm kind of glad they did.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh, yeah. Well,
yeah, but didn't you say, he abridged it, and then he...
Well, that's the joke, is he just made it... So his daughters asked him to write this. They said The Princess Bride, and so I guess he envisioned, okay, here's what my daughters are like, a little swashbuckling and stuff, but as a guy... Let's just get rid of all the romance, because there's romance in it, but I might be wrong in that.
Yeah,
because mostly he's supposed to be cutting out the boring political stuff.
Yeah,
it's just.
And then when they made the movie, and that was for the book, and then when they made the movie, you said they even cut it down.
Well, that's the thing. It's called Only the Best Parts or Only the Good Parts. The Princess Guide.
Yeah.
Princess Bride. Only the Good Parts, and he further goes. So, the book is it's about a 2-hour, 3-hour read. The movie can only be 90 minutes, so they never mentioned this, but my vision of it is it's only the best of the best parts because they had to chop out a bunch more stuff to make it short enough to be a movie.
Which, that's genius. I love that. The idea of cutting the fat out and it's we're just going to give you the most amazing. It's like doing comedy when you're like, you got 45 minutes to do. Well, you can fuck up in 45 minutes. You can tell a joke wrong. You can screw up. If you tell a comic that has that amount of material just to do 15, they can fucking destroy.
Then they slice it all down. It all down. That's why you get better at comedy the more material you do, because you have all these different routes you can go in the middle of a 45-minute.
Exactly.
I found out when I ruined the Black Star.
Yeah.
When I got that show canceled forever, I did 90 minutes of comedy.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, I actually have a 90-minute repertoire because most of it was trying to do material. They were screaming at me, drunks.
They just wanted
That's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to take a little break.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go into the plot holes of this movie, of which there is maybe one plot hole. But this is going to be, in the tradition of The Neverending Story, a very loving podcast.
Yes.
And who knows where we'll be.
Because neither one of us don't like it, so...
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah. I don't know what it is. We're going soft in our old age.
All right.
Yeah. All right, let's take a break. We will be back after this message from somebody. We splice these in later.
What's scary? Bounces and has a face only a mother could love. Ugly Ball. You can get one free from Bunker's Chewy Candy by sending 10 outside wrappers to Bunker's Ugly Ball, Box 1197, Grand Rapids, Minnesota.
Ugly Balls from Bunker's.
You'll love them.
All right, welcome back. We are but two lonely circus performers here for your amusement. Comic Rusty and Jeremy Whitman talking about the 1980s classic, which is not particularly rated 80s, The Princess Bride.
Ah, sure.
No, I think rated 80s needs to mean something RoboCop-esque.
Does it?
Yes.
Right.
It needs to be like PTSD-inducing for children sort of movie, or just so fueled by cocaine and the screenwriting process. And this is a tale of love and adventure.
It's just great.
But no robot cops.
No, they left those out.
Cutting room floor.
Damn it.
So this movie starts out with Fred Savage being a spoiled dick.
Yeah, he's a little prick.
Like, wow. over the top.
And he's sick. I remember being jealous of his room when I was younger, too.
Yeah, he has a legit
He's playing bases loaded.
Kids now will be like, what is that, an Atari? Yeah, he's playing baseball. He gets to play video games when he was sick, which my dad would never let happen.
No.
He's like, oh, you're too sick to go to school. You're too sick to play video games. Like, oh, guess faking being sick won't pan out for me anymore.
Yeah. I used to never get to play video games when I was sick. I watched a lot of TV, though. We didn't really have a lot of video games growing up, so I remember being very jealous of this. Because if you look in the back of the scene, like, he's got car posters up, he's got that wicked-ass bed, and he has a bag of Cheetos. I don't know if there was Cheetos in there.
Yeah, very irresponsible parents, honestly. They're just letting him eat Cheetos while he's sick and play video games. Like, oh, man. But yeah, so he's sick, and his mom comes in and announces that his grandfather is going to come visit, and he's like, I hate Grandpa.
He'll come pinch my cheeks.
He'll come pinch my cheeks, and she's like, oh, we should probably not even address the fact that you're kind of a dickhead.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't be saying this or even thinking it, really. It's your grandpa. Yeah. He probably fought in World War II, and he's, got a peg leg, and he's coming here to be nice to you when you're sick, and you're just being a jerk. She doesn't even address it. She's like, whatevs.
Yeah.
Lets him in.
Maybe he won't pinch her cheeks this time.
And his grandpa is Columbo.
Yeah.
This is Peter Falk, is that his name?
Yeah.
Peter Falk, comes in, immediately pinches his cheek.
Yeah.
And then he goes, listen, I want to read you this story. It's like a family tradition. My father read it to me when I was sick.
I read it to your father.
I read it to your dad.
Yeah.
But he's not in the picture anymore because this is a movie for children. He was probably killed.
Yeah.
Because we have to kill a parent at the beginning.
It was the 80s. The mom had a power suit on. She had to go to work. Had shoulder pads, so she looked manly,
So Grandpa's going to come babysit. He's going to read you this story. Dad will probably be back from the store for cigarettes pretty soon. It's been a couple of years, but we won't address that. It's weird. He still has a relationship with his grandpa, even though his dad's a total deadbeat loser.
Yeah. He could have died. You don't know.
Yeah, he could have.
It doesn't say.
Yeah, it's just not brought up. His dad's probably at work as well. The 80s was kind of when both parents started working pretty on the regular.
Yeah.
So a two-income household became kind of standard. And so Grandpa comes in, and I'm going to read you this book. The kid's like, book? Reading's for faggots. Like, he doesn't want...
Makes him turn off his video game.
Yeah.
The poor granddad. It looked like, you can tell in his head, he's like, you little bastard. I feel like, I know I would be.
The book has to compete with the video game,
Yeah. Which is hard to do now.
Yeah, well, now you got books about video games. Video games are the most popular form of entertainment on the planet at this point, dollar for dollar. Dollar for dollar. Porn is oddly free. Let's take a moment and talk about that. If you pirate a movie off the internet, you typically don't feel bad at all. Even though you're stealing like a creative endeavor that costs people. This does not belong in this podcast, but we're going with it. It's just something I think about. And now we've gone into one of our patented asides. We're the first podcast to do this ever, where we wander off topic. That was an aside within an aside. Back to the first aside.
Okay.
I want to see Transformers. So, my nephew knows how to steal all those things, and you get it and you watch. You don't care at all, even though it's destroyed Shia LaBeouf's life, and millions of dollars were invested, thousands of people working at ILM building models and 3D animations. You don't care at all, but they will come after you, right? Like the MPAA, if they find out you're doing that, will send you a letter like, you're a thief, you're a bad person.
Do you know anyone that's ever gotten this letter?
You wouldn't download... Oh, I knew some people.
Oh, really? Oh, shit.
Well, more than one, yeah. I know some hackers.
Okay.
Some low-level hackers that love the BitTorrent. We should put the podcast on BitTorrent so people will think they're stealing and getting something for free. This is a good marketing idea.
Just put it under the name, put it on Princess Bride.
Well, no, they'll know it's not that. But we'll put it at rated 80s, the Princess Bride. What is that? That's weird. I was looking for the Princess Bride. There's this thing.
Yeah,
they'll grab it. Yeah, they'll think they're stealing, but they're not.
We're giving it to them.
It's like that Tom Sawyer painting the fence philosophy, reverse psychology.
David Cross put his shit on BitTorrent for free.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he did.
He probably owns the rights to that. We own the rights to this, so we can do it.
Was it David Cross, or there was a comedian who took that's the only place he released it?
Oh, Louis C.K. put his thing up, and if you don't want to pay a dime, don't pay a dime, or something like that. But you can pay $5 and have it. Or nope.
No, it wasn't Louis.
Louis C.K. shot his special, crowdfunded, I believe, $250,000 to get everything done.
Yeah.
And then put it up, and he offered it direct from himself.
Yeah.
So he paid for a website, paid for all the hosting for $5. and then went on Reddit, and it immediately, of course, went up on the BitTorrent sites because people who don't want to pay are not going to pay.
Yeah.
Especially if it's that easy to steal something.
Yeah.
It's going to be stolen. Human nature. Not the Japanese, though. Japanese people are they won't do that.
Yeah.
But probably BitTorrent, they would.
Somebody
there's
big
lots of
I know.
stories about, like, we had a concert in Japan and we put a tambourine under every seat, and we never told them they could take them. They were supposed to be a party favor. They put all the tambourines back under the seats because there's a cultural difference.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound racist, but the Japanese don't steal as much.
They don't fuck around. Like when the tsunami hit, there was a story about one phone left up useful in the town, like a payphone. People lined up for literally miles to use it.
No fighting, none of that ninja stuff that
they just fucking queued up and were just like, that blew my goddamn mind because that shit would never happen.
Very stringent culture.
Yeah,
like very serious aspects of their culture.
Anyway, so porn.
So you're stealing Transformers. Let's say you're a dirty thief listening to this podcast. You found it on the Pirate Bay. You think you stole something, you didn't. Psych. Rated 80s slang. Psych.
That was 90s.
90s. Oh, fuck. That's going to be so hard to separate because they've become one meta decade. Like 60s and 70s are kind of, we think of as one decade. But it's 2 decades. You're like, the 60s was when drugs were cool, and the 70s were when drugs tore people's lives apart. The same people. Well, the 80s was when violence was awesome. We put it in movies. In the 90s, you end up with school shootings for some reason. Don't know why. Weird mystery.
So you don't feel bad about downloading a movie.
And you kind of shouldn't in a way because Transformers made, $1 billion. Literally, that movie is in the billion dollar club.
I don't feel bad about
However,
stealing.
there's some poor girl from Bisbee got on a bus to find her fortune and escape her evil uncle who touched her, goes to L.A., ends up in porn. It's thrown up. You don't even need to know how BitTorrent works. It's for free on all these porn sites, I've heard. No one is defending the copyright of her trying to take her childhood molestation lemons and turn them into a profitable lemonade of porn. No one cares at all. But we care about Shia LaBeouf and Michael Bay making money because porn is thought of as evil.
Yeah, I mean, it's always going to fly under the radar because
because of our social thinking that porn is wrong.
No, because if she makes a fucking porn, normally there's a guy involved. There's a guy shooting the porn, and then that guy normally has a website where it's tracked. Whether he gives it out free or not, that's up to him.
There's copyright violations. They're downloaded from a pay site and then thrown up on Xvideo.
I'm pretty sure that doesn't
They've
larger...
gotten more buddy now, but you don't go testify before Congress about how your porno business is losing money because of copyright infringement, because Congress doesn't care. Congress doesn't want to be associated with porn. Leave the porn stars alone. Steal movies, that's fine. They've already made their money back.
Yeah.
Dude, pay for your porn. It's the Christian thing to do.
That doesn't make sense, though. And not to stay on the tangent, but so if you're an actor...
Someone should be defending that. What I'm saying is they've had a horrible life, probably at least 30% of them. I'm pulling this number out of my ass. To end up involved in porn. Probably something horrible went down.
So they should get residual checks? Is that what you're saying?
They should, yeah.
Okay.
If you put a poster up in a movie of another movie, they're getting money.
Yeah.
They should get, 3 cents or whatever for driving traffic.
It's not like not saying that the porn actress that got touched by her uncle that moved to L.A. is she's not, oh God, how can I put that? She's not an extra in the movie, but it kind of works like extras. If you're an extra...
got paid for the day.
Exactly. So she got her chunk of change to do that. She didn't have to fucking do that.
You're right. I reversed my decision. Steal the porn. Fuck the porn stars.
And honestly,
they're not...
When I go to jerk off at Pornhub, if I did such a thing, all the time, earlier today, if I did, Pornhub makes money off of what they're doing.
Pornhub
even
does,
the free...
But Pornhub is a YouTube type thing.
Kind of, yeah.
And Pornhub does not, I do not believe, have what YouTube has. It goes around and a robot that searches through it and finds copyright violations. They might now. But initially, this was, someone should... And some of these more famous porn stars, I can't believe this is the Princess Bride podcast, and we're talking about porn now at length.
Your kids shouldn't be listening to this anyway.
I guess. It should be a kid-friendly episode.
Maybe
we'll release a version where this is just sliced out. This weird conversation. I don't even remember how we got to this thing about porn. Do you?
No, but we're here. I mean, you dug us in. Oh, you wanted to sidetrack because of the.
Our patented sidetracking. Yeah, that is one. We filed a patent with the patent people.
Sidetracking. We own all in-jokes,
wandering conversations are our thing. Set up and punch, that sort of thing. And then like a thing where you just say something absurd and non sequitur. We've patented all these things. So we've had our interns do it. Having interns, we patented.
You'll be out drinking with your buddies and get cease and desist orders.
We patented the idea of a patent troll. So a kid doesn't want to have the book read to him.
Are we back to the story?
Well, I guess we have to be. You would usually segue back to, but I've forgotten how we got off on this weird porno copyright infringement tangent.
So the kids movie,
it's fun for all ages.
It's fucking rad all around.
He doesn't want to have it read to him, but his grandfather, he's knowing. He's a knowing old man. He's gonna talk to him, read him the book. And he knows the kid will get engaged. The kid initially is like, "Oh, is this going to be a kissing book?"
Yeah, because it starts with the romance.
They're in love.
Yeah,
and in the weirdest love possible. Because he's basically like a servant that works for her dad.
Yeah, farm boy.
Yeah, and she doesn't care. Her head's in the clouds. She's whatever she does there. I think she's a milkmaid in the book, but I mean that just means she lives on a farm. Yeah, her dad owns a farm, and the hired help is this Wesley cat. And she realizes that every time he says, "as you wish," what he's really saying is, "I love you."
Which is a direct line from the movie. Yeah. And they end up falling in love, and he gets the...
She puzzles it out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She gets or he wants to marry her, so he has to leave to make his riches.
Yep, he's got to go make his fortune.
Yeah.
And in the book, it's a little bit more detailed, like, she's about maybe the 20th most beautiful human being in the world, but only because she's not trying. She doesn't care. She's a bit of a tomboy, I think, in the book.
I think they got the perfect actors for her. She's cute, but she doesn't look like...
She's not... was the girl in Megan Fox...
Yeah,
she's not like ridiculously.
I think you were obsessed with Transformers. Man.
I am. Okay. I have seen. Let's go into one of our patented asides before we. After this, we will go through the plot of the.
Leave Transformers alone.
I would have if they would have stopped at 1, or cared at all about 2. But yeah, I'm obsessed with how bad those movies are in a red letter media sort of, can I dissect this madness? Because it's just the second one and the fourth one. Every other one is so bad that about 2/3 of the way through it, I'm like, I can't stop watching this. But I worry that if like medical professionals showed up and I had a do not resuscitate tag around my neck, they would just pull the plug. I mean, like they're so bad they defeat me as a person. My will to live, like in the 3rd Star Wars prequel where she has her babies and her will to live is gone. That's how I feel during the 3rd act of the 2nd and 4th Transformers movies. For so many reasons. We'll have to do just a Transformers episode at some point.
Yeah, because I just watched them and go, yeah, it was a movie. It sucks that they messed them up. I didn't get very... Like, I love Transformers, and I think they did a good enough job. But the first one, I didn't care if they fucked up the other ones.
Fairly okay.
I loved it.
It's fairly okay. I can see it being a thing that children will treasure, and it obviously is a thing that people of that generation who have watched it really enjoyed.
Yeah, that's really me.
The second one...
Just seeing Optimus Prime as a real thing was good enough for me.
Yeah, the CGI in those movies is pretty...
Somebody sold their fucking soul.
Pretty amazing.
The fight scene on the freeway, I was like, somebody's the devil that made this. To me, it just blew my fucking mind. Yeah.
All right, we will put this on. I don't think we're going to do it next week, but soon. This is on our list of episodes. We're going to do the entire Harry Potter series, not all the movies necessarily, but the movies and the books, compare and contrast. You've not seen all the movies?
I haven't seen the last 2, but I've read all the books for the...
Okay, so you'd only have to watch 2 movies to get caught up.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to our planning meeting podcast audience.
Anyways, we're watching The Princess's Bride. Wesley goes out to make his milk fortune. And
I don't think milk was involved, but yes, he's going to go. In the book, he's going to America to make his fortune. And this is the first example of this movie, aside from it's going to be a story within a story.
Yeah.
First example of this movie going, all your expectations are now subverted.
Yeah.
Boom, Wesley's dead.
Yeah.
Dies off screen. She's sad.
Yeah, they say that he
forced into a marriage with the prince. He got attacked by who?
Pirates. It doesn't say the Dread Pirate Roberts yet, I don't think.
No, it says she knows he's dead because the ship was taken by the Dread Pirate Roberts who never leaves survivors.
Oh. Oh, yeah, you're right.
And Fred Savage is like, that's good. He's dead.
Yeah, he goes, pirate killing's
You know what
good.
else I hate? Christmas, puppies, and kittens. Fred Savage. He's like, and this is my earliest memory of this movie, and I don't remember like the experience of watching it the first time. Like I remember Fight Club and things like that. The experience of catching the whole movie the first time. You're like, this guy is really a jerk.
Yeah.
I'm surprised his grandpa just doesn't go upside his head. That's what my grandpa would have done.
Just smack him on.
Oh, yeah. He would really be, he didn't fight the Nazis for nothing. Just to hear you shit on my thing.
Yeah.
Because that's what kids do, though, is they don't think what you thought was cool is cool. Yeah. Unless it's two things we've discovered here at Radio 80s Presents Comics on Film. The Never-Ending Story or The Princess's Bride. You can... Any kid, if you can force them to watch either one of these, another movie like that is Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
I've never actually seen that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
It's one of those things where if you're forced to watch it by your parents, you're like, this is kind of, what is this romantic cowboy? And then it becomes just the coolest stuff.
Coolest movie.
Yep. That's another William Goldman movie, actually.
I think Flight of the Navigator's like that, too, personally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah?
I don't know when the last time you saw it was, but I showed that to my kid, and I went to bug her like halfway, like we're watching it, and she hasn't moved. She's stuck watching the screen. And I bent over and I just kind of tapped her shoulder. I was like, hey, do you like it? She looked back at me with like a die bitch look, like, why are you interrupting me? Oh, she was pissed. It was the first time I'd ever seen her like into a movie completely. Oh, wow. Yeah, she was so fucking mad at me.
Flight of the Navigator is a children's movie from the 80s that I think is rated 80s as well.
Oh, very easily. Aliens and all that jazz.
Aliens, and we'll get into it, I think, when we do Flight of the Navigator film.
We are sidetracking like a motherfucker.
Oh, man.
Back to the movie.
So Wesley's dead. She's going to be forced to marry the Prince.
Humperdinck.
Prince Humperdinck. Who it is later revealed is the world's greatest hunter.
Yeah.
But the only solace, because she, the love of her life died, and it was true love, which is a very special thing in this mythos. True love only exists, I think, for them, ever. Because later in the movie, it's like, only once in a century does this happen. It could have happened to you, but now I'm going to kill you. Spoiler alert.
So you don't believe in true love? Because you're kind of pooping it already.
Am I? No, I'm not pooping it.
In real life?
Am I? For the movie?
Do you believe in true love in real life?
True love for movies. I believe you could truly love the Never-Ending Story. And no, what? You don't need to make this about me and whether or not I believe in true love. I believe, that I believe in true love. If there's not, if you don't have joint checking, I believe in true love. If you don't. But they didn't have to worry about that back then. No. All you had was your teeth for money or something back in the day.
Oh, jeez.
Rusty's having a Tony Soprano like panic attack. So he's dead.
Yeah. 5 years later, Prince Humperdinck wants to marry her.
Mm-hmm. And in the book shows up, goes, marry me or you're dead. And she's like, I won't love you. And he's like, you don't need to love me. Yeah. Just, do what I say. And she's like, okay, I guess rather than die, I will marry you. And the only solace she finds in both mediums is to take a daily horse ride on her own.
Yeah.
So she's riding a horse, and she bumps into, at night, 3 dudes. A little dude, a skinny, tall dude, and Andre the Giant. And he goes, we are but 3 lowly circus performers. We want to know if there's a town near here. The little guy.
Yeah, and she's like, nothing's around here.
There's nothing around. He's like, oh, good. Then we can kidnap
Nobody
you.
will hear you scream. Which it made me mad when I was watching the movie. I was like, because Andre Giant starts to head towards her horse to grab her. But he's got to go like 10 feet, and he's a slow-ass giant. I was like, just ride away. You're on a horse. Just go.
Oh, my God. You're nitpicking The Princess Bride.
I'm sorry.
I didn't think this would happen.
But
she has basically lost the will to live.
Yeah.
She doesn't care.
That's true.
She kind of doesn't care at all. I mean, she has a little bit of the will to live.
He gives her
not like that bitch that gave birth to Luke Skywalker, who they're like, here's your baby. She's like, suck it, kid. Grow up an orphan. I'm going to go ahead and die. Yeah. Wow.
Oh, Andre the Giant does this. Did you see the scene where like he grabs her, goes to grab her off the horse, and he gives her like a Vulcan.
He gives her the Vulcan thing, yeah. And this is the first instance where you kind of realize, you get it way better way later in the movie, just how massive Andre the Giant of a human being he was.
My mom got to meet him.
Oh, really?
She actually has a picture of this little 5'2" little chubby. She looks like Santa Claus. She looks like Mrs. Claus. My mom looks dead on.
How old was she at the time when she met him?
So I was like 4, I think. So she was like about 40. She had me later in life and all. So she's about 40, and she's 5'1" or 2", pudgy, red nose, adorable lady. She's had gray hair since she was 18. Standing next to Andre the Giant. It is the biggest contrast in the fucking world. Such a great picture. She got to meet him and stuff. And
yeah, Andre is one of the few people you'll never hear anyone say anything bad about.
Yeah,
he was one of the biggest people alive at the time he was alive. He had gigantism, and he knew from an early age that he would not live past 40.
Yeah,
and it wasn't like now where you go, oh, maybe they'll figure something out.
Yeah,
and you maybe believe it.
I still don't think they can cure that one.
I don't think so. No, that's like a genetic level. We don't have, little science robots that go in there and fix your genetics, and probably won't for hundreds of years. So it's not like he was encouraged by that, but he knew he would live into his 40s, and then just he was killed by his own awesomeness. Yeah, because he's a giant, right? Like he was a huge guy, and
that's got to be rough. Like he used to wrestle and shit, and I know
he used to wrestle all over the world.
Yeah.
To get him for this movie, they had to meet him in France or something because he happened to be there, and they were in England scouting locations, and they wanted him much the same way they wanted the guy who played Hagrid to play Hagrid. Yeah. You know, if you're a giant and you're in Hollywood, you're pretty well shortlisted for things like that. I mean, the Lurch guy also. You can go get the Lurch guy. He's a Lurch guy.
The guy, the giant from Big Fish. You seen that movie? Yeah, that guy is specifically like he has a horrible disease.
Well, there's like the giant that fights Sherlock Holmes. He shows up a lot of times too when you need a giant guy. And it's not racist because they are giants. And it's not like when you call a Romani person a gypsy, that's racist. But it's genetic condition. Yeah, any race, you know. Hagrid's a British giant. Andre the Giant.
He's not really that big though. Hagrid's not that big.
Wide. He's a wide.
Yeah, but he doesn't even come close to Andre the Giant. He's a smaller dude.
I mean, he's believe tall. So. It's hard to know when they're doing all this forced perspective stuff.
They did a lot of that with him. I've seen him in other stuff. He's not.
But he was kind of the inspiration for that character. And William Goldman, the writer of The Princess Bride, and the Princess Bride book and the screenplay, wanted Andre the Giant, and so they go and they talk to him. He's like, "Yeah, I'd love to," you know. Yeah. And he's I don't know why he's very unintelligible when he speaks, probably because his tongue and his jaw never stop growing. You know what I mean? So you're constantly playing catch up, like a adolescent, right? Plays catch up with their own vocal system. Sometimes you have the kid's voice who breaks, like in the Brady Bunch. Yeah. And he was also, and this would maybe be a deal breaker these days because we probably have a better database of living giants. Yeah. Illiterate.
Really?
You know how he learned the lines for this script?
They just spoke it to him?
The director recorded all of them into a tape recorder and gave it to him for him to memorize, so he memorized them verbally.
Huh, that's pretty legit. I mean, it's not like...
That's an amazing accommodation.
Yeah.
But like I was saying, no one's got a bad thing to say about Andre the Giant. They say he would always pay for meals.
Who else are you going to get? Like, really, that's...
You know, and you're like, he's probably a nice guy, but... He's also superhumanly strong and almost 8 feet tall. So was he really a nice guy, or was everyone just terrified him? I'm going to come down on the nice guy side, actually, because every story I've ever heard in Hollywood would be, as soon as you're dead, you know, people will start talking. Yeah. You never hear a bad thing about him. Huh. And the William Goldman...
Unlike his buddy Hulk Hogan. Totally different.
Hulk Hogan body slammed him a couple times. Yeah. Wow.
Which was... I remember watching that as a kid and being fucking amazed by it. He picked Andre the... I mean, Andre jumped a little to help him, but...
But once he's up there, he was holding... He did it like, I think... People love wrestling. Yeah. If you were to look up William Shakespeare's Wikipedia... and do a word count on it, and then look up Andre the Giant's Wikipedia and do a word count on it, I would bet you $20 right now that Andre the Giant's Wikipedia entry is longer because it goes into great detail about his entire wrestling career. And he was wrestling before people knew it was fake.
Yeah. No, I remember finding it
before it was widely believed it was fake.
When I was younger, I was nuts about wrestling. My mom also headed the foundation of the Wrestlers Against Drugs thing, so I got to hang out with like Jimmy Fly Snuka, Junkyard Dog, who will always go down as my favorite wrestler, was at my house eating chicken at my fucking house. Lost my mind when I was younger. He was the best guy, the nicest dude in the world.
You hear that about a lot of wrestlers, too.
I think you hear about this about big guys in general. I got this theory about big guys, mainly because I am one, is there's a huge percentage of them that believe that you just can't pick on people. I think the idea of a gentle giant comes from, okay, I could just fucking kill you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's something I don't want to do. So it's kind of making people live on, like, as long as the other person has an understanding that I can squish you, then we're cool. Does it make sense?
I have a couple theories about big guys. Yours makes sense. I also think big guys are very easily rattled by things that don't behave around them the way everything else. Because people around big guys, typically, unless they're drunk, they won't get too aggro.
Yeah.
A Chihuahua will send a big guy onto the roof of a car a lot of times.
Really?
Oh, I've seen it. My brother has owned a series of rabid Chihuahuas raised in the Mexican dune fighting pits. Like, you know, how Chihuahuas are very sweet for like the first 3 years of their life, and then they're just over it because children think that they're dolls and ruin their sensibilities. And Chihuahuas they're very angry, and they imprint very much on one person.
Yeah.
And if you're holding a Chihuahua and a big guy comes up to pet it, every time that thing goes at it like a viper, and the big guy moves really fast. And maybe that's also part of it. It's so startling that a big guy can move so quick when he's motivated also. But they're just not used to things challenging them too. Like a human being, fine. But like, what if a midget came at you, Rusty, with Freddy Krueger gloves? You'd maybe move
punt
back
his
a little.
fucking head.
You would punt. Oh.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I mean, if he's going to come out with Freddy Krueger claws, he's fucking, I'm going to kill him.
I mean, but it would be startling, right?
Well, yeah, I think that'll be startling for anybody. I don't know if you know.
It's just the amount of body mass. I don't have Andre the Giant here to do this experiment with like a Chihuahua and Andre the Giant. But I mean, it's startling what the Chihuahua does. No, I mean with a Chihuahua and Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
It's startling what the Chihuahua does, and then to see, a good 300 plus pounds of flesh moving very quickly.
Yeah.
And Andre was up around 500 pounds.
Was he afraid of Chihuahuas?
Yes.
Okay, you're just going to say that?
I'm just going to say it.
You need to update
after
his
this
Wikipedia
episode.
page.
Yeah, I'm going to run in there and first I'm going to make another site that seems like a legit Andre the Giant fan site with a lot of sourced facts. This is how you change reality in like a Fox News way from just your home PC. So you do that, and then you're also terrified of Chihuahuans. And then I'm going to go and add that and source it and everything, and it'll be on there for years. I'm not actually going to do that. That's a huge waste of time. Like all men, giant men, scared, terrified of Chihuahua.
So they got the princess.
Yeah, so they kidnap her. He Vulcan neck pinches her.
Yep.
And
they head to a boat.
His character is the only character that is substantially changed from the book to the movie.
The giant?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And it's only kind of changed in this one way. So the giant is slow mentally in both mediums. It's not made such a big deal of in the movie.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be, it would be like hashtag bullying back in the 80s. So you can't do that, right? But he's not as smart as the other two characters in the book. He's simple dumb.
Yeah.
And, but in the book, he's like, let's just kill her now. Right out of his mouth. Let's just kill her now. It'll save time. Yeah, because they're just revealed later in the plot line. They're just a trio of professional criminals.
Yeah.
What happens in the book is Vicini...
Because they have that conversation when they get to the boat after they kidnap her. They have that conversation.
And Andre the Giant is, no, I don't want to.
Yeah.
And Andre, the mythos of Andre the Giant, just as a human being, is so lovable. You're like, maybe he made the change. I don't know.
Yeah.
You could actually probably easily find the screenplay online and figure this out.
Figure which one, who decided they were...
Well, if it was in the original screenplay or if Andre the Giant, you could probably figure it out and come to a pretty good conclusion whether or not he wanted to change that. But it's a good change, actually. Yeah. So I'm guessing Goldman, because it's such a good change, because you don't want these people who become heroes, they're co-heroes later in the story. You just want them to be kind of bumbling and worried about their jobs, which is great.
Because they have that conversation when they finally take her to the boat, which there's so many great lines in this. But Vicini has the plan to take her to Gilder and kill her on the shores. The beginning of
the movie is just so quotable.
So perfect.
The first hour.
When Vicini's yelling at Andre, he goes, well, I don't want to kill anybody. He goes, I don't think that's a good idea, is what he says to Vicini. And Vicini's like, what? Did I hear right? You're thinking now?
Yeah.
Do you want to be unemployed in Greenland? Such a great fucking line.
Such glib. It's a story that crosses this line where it knows it's a story. but it's so upfront about it that you don't care. It's just like, I understand I'm fiction and written for your amusement, but I'm so on the nose about it that it comes full circle and it just works even better. As opposed to pretending. So, they've captured the princess. They're off. They get on a boat going through eel-infested waters. They have a lot of dialogue back and forth. And at one point, the princess escapes the boat into the eel-infested waters, and a pretty good practical effect of an eel comes.
That's when I find out that the guy's following him, too.
Yeah, after that, they figure it out. But first off, I think it's first, but it doesn't matter in this sequence of events. She's in the water. She knows they want to kill her. And this establishes everything. It establishes that Vicini is the smart one, the little guy. Fezzik is the giant. Andre the Giant. And pretty much best friends with, what's his name?
Indigo,
it's not.
It's
Inigo Montoya. How could we possibly?
Well, I always mess up the pronunciation of it anyways, ever since I was a kid.
It's a hard name to pronounce.
Inigo
Montoya. You killed my father. We're getting ahead of ourselves. But it establishes William Goldman's an amazing writer, and it's very efficient in the way it establishes these are these people. These are these three people, the giant and the swordsman, who's a Spaniard, love each other, basically. They're very good friends. They're pretty much best friends. They annoy him constantly, and he has a high opinion of himself.
The Spaniard takes care of the giant, and the giant. That's...
And the Sicilian, the bald Sicilian, is very intellectually arrogant, but he doesn't care because everyone else is stupid, and he's better than them.
Inconceivable.
And he loves the word inconceivable.
I like when...
And it's kind of his tool, but it's also his Achilles heel.
I like how Inigo's like, you keep using that word, and I'm not sure you know what it means.
It establishes all that. It establishes that the princess is not exactly a damsel in distress. I think that is one of the big sticking points of why this movie works.
Yeah.
Even though a lot of the time her option is just suicide.
Yeah.
She ain't putting up with it.
Yeah.
I'm not chattel. I'm not going to be just married off to some guy. I'm not going to be kidnapped.
Yeah. She runs out, gets out the boat. And
She's constantly, and she does a lot of the girl hostage stuff, like, somebody's going to come, blah, blah, blah. But she self-actualizes a lot more than I think. It was written for his daughters as well, so he probably wants to present a strong woman. Yeah. She's pretty strong, but it's also a fairy tale. She can't be slaying dragons and stuff. So it's in there, but it's just enough. So much of this movie's just enough. Yeah. So she jumps into the water. The giant kills the eel. They haul her back into the boat. They're like, don't try it again. She knows they're going to kill her.
That was the first cut back to Fred Savage in his room, too, because the eel was about to get her.
Oh, yeah,
and the granddad's like, are you okay? We could stop, because you look a little nervous, and he's got the blankets all bunched up. Like
It does this gag, so it breaks what I'm going to call the 3.5 wall, because it's not the fourth wall. That would be talking directly to the audience, but he's talking to his audience within the film.
Yes.
Takes place in Fantasia. In a parallel Fantasia next to the Fantasia that the book takes place in. It's Fantasia's all the way down. Anyway, so he stops and he goes, she does not get eaten by the eels at this time, which reminds you, one, that it's a book, and it does, two, this thing where he is kind of talking to the audience, going, hey, kids, it's a fairy tale.
Yeah.
You don't need to get your 80s PTSD. There are many RoboCops and Predator movies that you will be, for some reason, exposed to, which will really mess you up and send you into a high school with a handgun. 1 in 10 chance 80s kid. Yeah. That was more offensive than the porn conversation we had. But it does. He does break out of it. And it reminds me of another piece of fiction that I love, which is The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which also, at the beginning, does that thing where it stops and goes, now, just a minute. I just want you to know that your principal cast isn't going to die here. Yeah. In the book. Remember the whale and the bowl of petunias? Yeah. So I wonder which one came first. I wonder if that's a trope. We should check on if that's a trope. Yeah. And we will check on if that's a trope somewhere between now and the Cliffs of Insanity, because we are going to take another Comics on Film movie break.
Nice.
Wow. Where are we?
Exactly where we were.
In the missiles?
Apparently they've turned into a bowl of petunias and a very surprised looking whale.
At an
probability factor of 8,767,128 to 1 against.
We have normality.
Normality, right. We can talk about normality till the cows come home.
What is normal?
What's home?
What are cows?
All right, we now join our previous podcast already in progress after we went and got lunch during that break, which you wouldn't think you could sneak in that amount of time, but...
Yeah, it's amazing how that works.
Yeah, it's amazing what you can do with editing.
Short commercial break for you. It's like an hour and a half and some drinks later.
Don't tell them we're drinking.
Oh, yeah.
No, sober is church nuns. Church nuns.
Church nuns?
Mm-hmm.
No, they can drink wine, can't they?
I don't know. So where are we? We're at the Cliffs of Insanity.
Cliffs of Insanity. Still at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
We've covered so much ground.
Well, we've established
porn.
3 characters, one other dead character, and a chick. And she's been kidnapped by these 3 characters, and they're being chased by God only knows who.
Yeah.
It's inconceivable anyway that anyone would even be following them. But someone is following them, and so they're going to lose him at the Cliffs of Insanity because the Sicilian has a great plan that the giant will climb up with all 3 of them, and since no one is stronger than the giant, they will never be caught.
Yeah. Which is... It doesn't really work.
It doesn't work. You think it's going to work, though, because it's so authoritative.
Yeah.
The way the Sicilian's true power is not intelligence, it's just making other people do what he wants them to do. He's arrogant
a manipulator
about his intelligence, and boy, does he love the word inconceivable.
So do I.
Inconceivable. Everyone loves it now, because he he makes love to it every time he says it. It's like a slam poet.
List.
He just becomes a slam poet just long enough to say, inconceivable!
My buddy JB can do it perfectly.
Oh, yeah?
So every time I hang out with him, I'm like, do it. Do it. Yeah.
So they're trying to outrun this man in black that has been chasing them by boat, now chasing them by rope up the Cliffs of Insanity. And he is gaining on them, despite Andre the Giant's best efforts.
Well, and he's carrying 3 people.
That was his excuse. We don't like excuses here in our small criminal organization, and if you continue with that, you might be unemployed and in Greenland.
I just felt bad for him the whole time. I'm like, that's fucked up.
He's so mean to him, and Andre is so lovable.
They have a harness that they all snap to.
Yeah, he's just using him as a pack mule or a mountain goat. And so they get to the top of the cliff.
Yeah.
And a very accurate rope cutting scene, actually. If you had a rope that big, it would actually take you quite a while, even with a nice sharp dagger.
Yeah.
They're going to cut that rope and drop this man in black back into the ocean, be done with him.
Yeah.
Does that work? No. No, it does not. He grabs the rocks.
Yeah.
Which, again, is inconceivable.
I love it because, and then he leaves Inigo and Indigo? It's Indigo.
It's not Indigo.
It's Indigo. I don't know.
The Indigo Girls? No. He's not a color. This was...
Inigo. And I just feel like I'm going to constantly say it wrong if I try to say it right.
It's Joe Montana's his name. My name is Joe Montana. You killed my father. Prepare to die. That is the... that's the way I remember it.
I just love how he's waiting for him up there. The interaction in this part is one of the best.
I don't know if we've
movie.
set this up quite right. So they cut the rope. That should be the end of the man in black. But he, like a billy goat, grabs onto the mountain.
Yeah,
and he's 40 feet down or so. He's just going to crawl his way up. And so the Sicilian goes, Ignacio, pistachio.
Hey, Joe Montana.
Joe, yeah. Listen, John Elway, you stay here, and I want you to sword fight him and kill him when he gets up here.
Yeah.
He goes, okay.
Catch up with us later. If he falls, good. Catch up with us later if he doesn't, kill him. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if he falls, don't put yourself out, but if he makes it all the way up here, you're the best person with a sword that I've ever met. You kill him. He goes, okay, but I would be so bored by it, I'm going to fight him left-handed just so it's a bit of a challenge for me.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they have a very cordial conversation. So the giant and the Sicilian and the kidnapped princess take off, and there's a very cordial conversation between Ignatius and the man in black.
It's Inigo.
It's one of life's many mysteries.
It is.
Very cordial conversation. Like, that looks very hard. And he's
I'm
like,
sure there's people
it
that know
is very
Spanish.
hard, and please.
There's people listening that know Spanish right now are like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
We have
Say his
listeners. I
name
thought
right.
this was a rehearsal.
No, I mean, we really don't have listeners, but, you know, it's...
Oh, we love you, listener.
Listener.
So
I love the conversation between the two while
it's a great little
Spaniard.
cordial
I'm gonna
conversation.
call him the Spaniard.
The Spaniard, that's
Yes,
great.
yes.
That's why they do that, actually, because all their names are so hard to say. Fezzik.
Fezzik and Vicini. It's not too bad.
Yeah.
Everyone else is fine. It's just his we're having a problem with.
Yeah, and as soon as if we were to look it up, which would take me turning around and typing it in.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
we're not about
going to do that.
accuracy here.
No,
We're
let's
really
get this
not.
back on track. The reason that it's worse to steal porn than it is a movie. I kid.
Yeah.
They do have a great little conversation, though. He's like, that looks very hard. It is really hard. If you could quit distracting me while I try and... But it's very polite, the whole thing. Which, again, it's just... It keeps going around your expectations.
Yeah.
You think it's going to be an action-y thing, but they're just cordial with each other.
Yeah.
And then he finally gets up there and he goes, you look pretty tired. You know, he lowered him the rope.
Yeah. He lowers him the rope and he's like, how can I can't trust you to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you finally hear the first part where he goes, I swear on the life of my father, very serious.
Domino's Pizza.
I don't think it was his name.
Dominio Montego.
It was Papa John's, I think.
Oh, yeah. My Godfather's Pizza. I swear upon my Godfather's Pizza that you will reach the top of life. I swear on the grave of my father, or something to that effect. You will reach the top of life. He goes,
throw me a rope.
I buy it.
Yeah.
And he's a good judge of character, this man in black.
Climbs right up. This is the part that was really cool to me, is because he gets all the way up.
He's very tired.
And he's like, no, we don't have to fight right now. Just sit down.
Because the man in black goes right for his sword. He's like, let's get it on. He's like, no, you're tired. I will let you have a rest.
Yeah.
And this is, in the book, a big piece of this exposition. This is, if anyone wants to know how you make a screenplay from a movie, you cannot have certain... Well, in this one in particular, you don't want to have ever a character telling a character something they should already know. So it's okay if you ask him a question and he answers it. But if I go, hey, Rusty, you know we do a podcast every week, and you go, yes, I do know. That's horrible screenwriting.
Yeah.
It should be communicated in some better way.
I thought we were going to say it's a horrible podcast.
Oh, no. Listen, now this is podcasting. So, but in a book, you can have a flashback. Flashbacks are kind of frowned upon in screenwriting, and it tells you everything you need to know in a book. Doesn't often happen in a movie, but sometimes it does happen in a movie, and it's okay. It's not a bad thing. A lot of screenwriting books will say it's a bad thing, but no, if it communicates, it's great.
Yeah.
But in this movie, in this instance, you want to get the story of his father out, but you're already in a separate reality from the son being told the story.
Yeah, you don't want to layer it four times.
You do not want to go, deeper into Fantasia. Because that's a sub-Fantasia.
Yes.
Which, it just causes so many... It's like in Back to the Future, they're always worried about causing a paradox that will destroy the universe. Well, actually... In very few instances can you flash back within a flashback. It only works in 2 movies. Fight Club, where he flashes back to explain everything to you, and then flashes farther back.
Yeah.
That shows you that his character is a little bit weird. And the other time it absolutely works is in the greatest movie ever made, the Korean Dragon Saga, D-War, Dragon War.
Which you brought up I haven't seen yet, which apparently I'm going to have to.
You're not doing yourself any favors by not seeing this movie, because it is, if you like bad movies, ladies and gentlemen, D-War, Dragon Wars, there's a riff tracks of it, which is the best way to watch a bad movie.
Right.
But you don't want to do it in this instance, because also it would be the only flashback really in the movie.
Yeah.
And it just wouldn't work. So instead of having a flashback to how his father died, which is what happened in the book, if you're reading the book, you essentially watch his father get murdered by the Six-Fingered Man.
Yeah.
In this one, instead, he's changed it. Original screenwriter is also the original author of the book, changes it from a flashback to dialogue between these two characters. So while he's resting, perfect place to do it, they talk about, do you have 6 fingers on your hand? He goes, do you always start conversations this way? And you get the idea he probably does, actually, because he's hunting this guy. And they establish that as a child, his father was the greatest swordsmaker in all the land. And in the book goes into a bit more detail. Which I'll just, if you're listening to our podcast and there's a book involved and I've read it, you won't ever have to read the book. This would be the perfect podcast for scamming a book report. I'm always curious about how the changes happened.
Yeah.
So in the book, he's 10 years old. He's poor, but he loves his dad, and he thinks his dad's the greatest thing on earth because his mom's dead, and his dad's a cool guy.
Yeah.
Six-fingered man shows up. They all know he's rich. And he goes, I cannot find a sword that works for me because I have 6 fingers. And his dad instantly knows, you're right. It'd be wrong. The weight and the balance and everything. I'll work on it for a year of my life.
Yeah.
And he goes, his dad never slept during that year until he was tuckered out, fell asleep from working too hard, then got back up, worked on the sword. And then it goes through the whole thing. The guy kills him and he tries to run away because this is kind of left undone in the best parts version, the movie.
Uh-huh.
But in the best parts version, it has more time to tell you. Because I always watched it and go, how did he get away? But the kid is still alive after he dueled the kid. Because he tried to avenge his father, and he just left him those 2 scars. But the kid still has the sword. Well, a big crowd of people formed around him, because they're like, he killed my dad, and I want to challenge you. And he does do the sword fight with him, but then he can't, like, do the sword fight with the kid and then take a sword and run away.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. So that could be, like, a thing in the movie that's always bugging you. How did he keep the sword when he's only 10 years old? He lost a duel to this guy.
Fucking ran, right?
Huh?
I just thought he didn't run.
No,
I didn't know he dueled him.
He dueled him
in
front of people, and he almost wins at 10 years old because he's so good. But he kind of startles him. You know, the guy's like 30, and he's good with the sword. He kind of startles him that he's so good, and he slashes him on both cheeks. And the kid's fighting with his dad's 6-fingered sword that he just made.
Yeah.
Slashes him on both cheeks in front of it, and the kid just stands there. He's been disarmed, and he's going to let the guy kill him because he's that honorable.
Yeah. And the guy doesn't
kill him. He goes, I'll leave you these 2 cuts and I'll
But
take
he
off.
leaves the sword?
Well, he could get away with the murder because no one could contest him because he's a nobleman. And everyone else is poor. They showed up. They all showed up and seen it after.
Yeah.
They didn't see him kill him, or else they would have just lynched him right there. I don't know how justice works in Florin. But
in Florin.
Yeah, the real fictional city of Florin. But
in the land
so it makes sense in the book.
Yeah.
It makes sense that the child would end up with the sword and then trains for 10 solid years at sword play.
Yeah.
And he's so upset because he can't find him. He becomes a drunk, and that's hinted at heavily in the movie too.
Sense. Yeah.
Because
I like how in the conversation as they're sitting there and he's explaining to him, Indigo, the Spaniard, actually hands the man in black his sword, and it's like. And he's like, if there's a sword of its equal, I've never seen it. Yeah. And
to trust somebody that much, you're going to duel
you're
him.
about to fight him to the death, apparently.
But they've both been so polite.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's to the death.
Gentlemanly.
Not to the pain, to the death.
Yeah. The pain's later.
And this is written up, and so they go, okay, hey, we've had our niceties. You don't have 6 fingers.
Yeah.
Here's a story about my dad.
Let's get
I will
down.
say my name is Pizza the Hut, Montana. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Ignacio.
I had that on my.
It's shot so well.
Oh yeah,
and everything about it. The emotions just
that on
right
for my voicemail.
Oh yeah,
I held my phone up to the speaker of the TV and recorded that as my voicemail.
Oh wow!
So if you call and get my answering machine, it's hello. My name is Inoue Motoya.
Oh, you did this with an answering machine?
Yeah.
Oh, reel-to-reel technology.
No, on my voice machine. You know how you talk into it.
We were talking about the 80s, man. Answering machines. You remember you recorded tape. You get the thing off the.
Yeah, no.
You remember there was like a commercial where you could buy all these horribly obnoxious.
Wait for the beep.
Hey, it's the Johnsons. We're not here right now. Doop 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 doop. Yeah, it's fucking. It's a horrible time. The only thing that got me through it was movies like The Princess Bride.
I like that part. And then really the best.
It's a great sword fight.
The best sword fight, I think.
It's called out in the screenplay as the greatest sword fight in the history of cinema. He just demands it.
Which I agree with him.
And there's almost no insert shots. The flips are the only insert shots. Yeah. These 2 actors practiced fanatically.
Yeah.
It probably helped that the person who plays Wesley loved the book growing up and got to play his hero from the book.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, it makes you a fanatic, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah, I want to nail this. So I get the sword play down. You know, I'm sure if you're a great fencer, you might know that that's not perfect. Maybe if you've been fencing all your life. But, you know, most movies don't do that.
Yeah.
You know, you teach them, you get a week of dance class and throw you into them, you know, Bring It On or Bring It On 2 or Bring It On in Space or whichever Bring It On they're on. Bratwurst.
I think of food today. Pizza, bratwurst.
Yeah.
So yeah, the fight scene, I loved it all the way through it, and then
it's got that wonderful like telegraph twist. I'm going to fight with my left hand.
Yeah,
and he's losing.
and then they both do it. Yeah, he's like, I'm left-handed
I'm
too.
not left-handed.
Yeah,
nor am I.
Yeah,
There's a few minutes.
I know something you don't know. Yeah,
and they're like starting a little bromance also.
That was just
you're amazing.
Great.
Oh, it's nice of you to say so. I must know who you are. Get used to disappointment.
Yeah. There's too many great lines. Really.
Especially the first half of this movie is just loaded full of them because it's all the characters you love are in the first half.
Saying amazing things, amazing witty.
A lot of them take an intermission, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he defeats all three of these guys. I kind of think this movie might have been the inspiration for some parts of the computer game by LucasArts called Monkey's Island.
Which I've never...
You've never played it.
Is it PC or...
PC, yeah, it was a PC game. I think you could get it on the Mac back in the day too. It's an adventure game in which you cannot die. That's the LucasArts adventure games had this thing where they're puzzle games and you cannot die and they're just hilarious. And there are two things from this movie: the rhyming. Vicini and Ignicio love to rhyme against each other. You know, just throw back and forth. Which in Monkey's Island, the first one. Oh, maybe it's. Yep, the first one is just insults. So it's sword fighting, but you can't die. You fight to disarm, like in this.
Oh, okay.
Fight to disarm. And in the first one, since it's a text and graphics adventure game, but it doesn't have like video game controls, it has, point and click controls.
Yeah.
You duel a little bit, ching, 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 and then when you've got the guy backed up, you hurl an insult at him.
What?
Yeah, and then ching, 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 they have to fire back the proper comeback. So that's how you learn sword fighting in this game. Is there's a
with punchlines?
It's a bunch of it's set up punch like your mom's a cow, and it's like I don't even remember the comebacks, but they're great. Like there's so many of them. And then once you've learned them all, you can fight the sword master. But she has slightly different insults, but your comebacks kind of work against her.
Gotcha.
And it's great. So there's that. I always thought was kind of inspired Monkey's Island. Monkey's Island, the idea is that you're a somewhat effeminate-looking pirate guy. He goes to this island, and it seems like Wesley, right?
Yeah.
His name is Guybrush Threepwood, so everyone's always giving him crap about that.
What?
Guybrush Threepwood.
Threepwood?
Yeah.
All right.
Interestingly, I can remember that name, but I can't get Ignacio.
Ignacio.
It's not a common combination of noises you make in English. Like
Ignacio?
Oh, who will never
We are
know.
beating the shit out of his name.
Yeah,
Right.
I feel bad now. And I just listened to the entire audiobook. Here's what's messing me up. They pronounce it slightly different in the audiobook than they do. And once someone ruins a word for you, that's how I'm going to go functionally verbally illiterate, is that all the words I know, someone will say them slightly wrong, and then I won't be able to remember how to say them anymore.
Yeah.
And I'll just be
stuck. Yeah.
I'll just be like, why does Jeremy have Alzheimer's in his 40s?
We just rename him Moonchild. And,
what's his last name?
Montana. No.
See, I did it to you.
You did. Damn it.
Montego?
Ignigo. Son of a bitch.
It's a word virus, like in
Montoya.
Montoya.
Yes,
okay, we'll just call him M.
The Spaniard.
Yeah, the Spaniard.
But I always think of Gladiator when I say the Spaniard.
So there's that. And then in the second Monkey's Island game, you have to do the insults thing also, but you have to rhyme your insults. So I always thought that was maybe inspired by The Princess Bride, making them rhyme.
I think you link two things that are. I mean, it's kind of similar.
I think you're probably right.
Yeah.
But also,
you're
the man in black here. Well, I looked it up on the internet. Literally, 2 other people have had this thought in human history.
Well, all right.
So that's 3. That's a series, right?
Makes it law, really.
I'm not some sort of science man, but I think so. There's some similarities. I think at least subconsciously this has to have informed that video game a little bit. Okay. God damn it.
I mean, you're trying to sell me on it.
I don't know why.
I've never seen the video game. Like,
it's a great game. You can get it now for like your phone and stuff with a little bit updated graphics. It's a wonderful, delightful game.
So he beats the Spaniard at sword fighting, and he is admittedly goes, well, I can't destroy a swordsman as good as you.
I'd rather destroy a beautiful work of art. So instead of killing him, he clubs him in the back of the head.
Yeah, which
KO.
That was kind of horse shit.
He should have at least some brain damage from that.
Well, no, it just looked. It was. I mean, I get it. The fantasy part of it is like he fell. It's like her getting the.
Okay, I'm going to tell you a secret about how we make movies. You've seen the Terminator.
Wait, how we make movies?
No, well, no. If we did it, we wouldn't bitch out like this. We're
no, we would.
But like you've seen Terminator, right? and he goes to that police station and he kills 11 police officers.
Yeah.
That was all special effects. Those pussies didn't kill a single goddamn cop to make. No, they used squibs and
that's horseshit.
No, you have to go to Mexico where they don't have laws about that sort of thing, and you got to hire cartel members, and you can do it that way.
So they didn't drown Artak in Neverending Story?
No, that was made in Germany, and again, there's different laws. If it's a foreign film,
I like how we keep callbacking our last episode.
It's a good episode, goddammit.
It is.
You guys should listen to it. We don't fuck up a single character name in that. Actually, took a break to find one.
Yeah, more. So,
anyways,
yep. So he knocks him out, and then he's on the trail. He's trying to find Vicini,
and the princess. His goal is the princess.
Yeah, he's obviously. Because, I mean, you know it now. It's Wesley. It's
a love interest in that Monkey's Island as well. Anyway.
What the fuck? Is there a giant?
Probably somewhere in the series.
Right.
I got to make you play this game, though. It's amazing. It's an amazingly great game. You will love it. You all would love it.
He's tracking them down. And I like how as they get to him, they also cut back. As he's running after Vicini and the giant and the princess, they cut back to now the king, Humperdinck.
Prince Humperdinck.
Prince Humperdinck.
Yes.
Is now on the tip of the cliffs of insanity.
World's greatest hunter.
With horses.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they went the long way around.
Oh, maybe they did, yeah. Well,
they had to.
It's also like he hired these guys, revealed later.
Yeah.
To murder his wife to be and leave her on so he could start a war.
Yeah.
And in the book, just because he loves war. It's just a fun thing for him to do.
He probably hates Gilder for some reason.
In the book, it just he loves it so much. That's the only mention. But who knows? They've cut out so much of it to get to the abridged book, and then cut out more to get to the abridged movie.
Yeah.
That you don't know.
And he's doing the whole there was a great fight here, and that's so you learn who that is. And now you know he's on the tail. He's on the trail of the winner of the duel to find his wife or soon to be wife, and then he gets to Wesley or
Andre the Giant is
Fred
told,
Pirate Roberts fights Andre the Giant.
Well, Vicini's like, you stay here and fight him. Yeah. You do it your way. He goes, what's my way?
Yeah, grab a rock and throw it at him. He goes, my way's not very sportsmanlike.
In the book, it's even a little bit better because the giant's so dumb. He's like, you fight him when he comes here. He must have killed the Spaniard.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't think I have much of a chance against him with swords. He's like, no, do it your way. Okay, what's my way? Throw a rock at his head.
Yeah.
And so he's another. See, these two villains are honorable guys.
Yeah.
So
I think they're cool. Like the Spaniard has like a mission in life. And then the big dude's just like, I'm a big guy. I don't like necessarily hurting people. I mean,
he's playing to, he's like really good. Like if you're really good at math, you become good while hunting, You gotta...
If you're good at beating people, you become the brute squad.
Or if you're good at beating people up, you become young good while hunting, who just beats people up randomly on his way to baseball or whatever. At the beginning of that movie, let's go beat that guy up. All right. Isn't good while hunting.
Does he beat people up?
Oh, yeah. He gets arrested for it.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Like kind of the major plot point in the movie.
Haven't seen it in a while.
He beats that guy up because that guy used to kick his ass in kindergarten. He didn't like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've seen Good Will Hunting.
It's a better movie than Boondock Saints, goddammit. Anyway.
No, it's not.
Oh, yes, it is. So fast and genius.
No.
There's violence.
No.
There's romance.
The's not enough violence.
There's not enough violence in Good Will Hunting. What about Good Will Hunting 2? Hunting season.
Hunting season.
That makes up for it.
Look for it. I think it's on DVD. It's pretty good.
Boom! Rock explodes right next to his freaking head. Yeah. And here comes Andre the Giant. I'm throwing rocks at you. He sounds like a really bad Arnold Schwarzenegger impression by a bad comedian that was working in LA a week after he got, governor. That's what he sounds. No, he doesn't. I'm sorry. I have Arnold Schwarzenegger.
You should apologize for that, honestly.
I'm sorry.
Apologize to humanity. Again. You had to apologize last one, too.
I know, I did.
I like when he goes... I love his look on his face when the rock explodes right next to his head. He goes, oh, shit.
You guys couldn't see it, but Rusty gave a look.
Yeah, I gave him. It was a good look.
It was great. Now I just did it like an example I had one beer. I will have you know. We've had no alcohol.
I had one double Jack and
We just enjoy this
Coke.
movie so much.
Yeah, I love this damn movie.
So they make another deal.
Yeah,
Both the outsets of both these, all three of these fights, actually, they make little deals about how the fight will go down.
The compromise. I like how he's like, you put your rock down, I'll put my sword down, and we'll beat each other like normal people.
Yeah, just face each other as God intended.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't think I could beat you in a punching match. He's like, it's not my fault, I'm big.
Yeah.
I don't even exercise. And
So
Andre the Giant was remarkably strong.
Yeah.
Remarkably. There is, so everyone, you know, how we talked about before, everyone always says that he was very polite because if you didn't, he might kill you and eat you. You know. There's tales that he would never let anyone else pick up the tab ever, which would be difficult in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And your rising fame and stuff. But one time someone did try and pick up the tab, snuck into the kitchen to try and like pay the guy directly.
Beforehand,
Yeah. And Andre the Giant could smell the treachery, apparently. Because he chases this guy down and bodily picks him up off the floor and goes, I pay.
Shit.
That man was Arnold fucking Schwarzenegger.
Was it?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's
Arnold
awesome.
Schwarzenegger used to say that Andre the Giant was unbelievably strong.
Wow.
I have done my research, sir.
Schwarzenegger's my bitch.
Oh my goodness. He is a big guy. Well, you look at it, he's like holding a rock like the size of a beach ball.
Yeah, it was paper mache.
But the size of his hands.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
like, you know, the man could, if wrestling didn't work out, he was just going to make his living as an engine hoist. Just bodily grab car engines out and hold them in the air while people worked on the car and put them back. I mean, he was massive guy. And
so they end up getting into a little bit of a tussle, and Mr. Dread Pirate Roberts swings around and grabs him by his neck. Which starts choking him out, which I don't think it would work.
This would not, you watch it and you're like, there's no way.
Yeah, like Schwarzenegger would have a hard time trying to choke him out. You know what I mean?
Schwarzenegger can't even get his arms closed enough to actually choke a person at that point in his life anyway. But I mean, yeah, the muscle mass in this guy's neck, just resistant to that.
Oh, and then what was the line that he said? One of the great lines that
I realize why I have such a problem with you. Why is that? Lately I've just been fighting large groups of people.
Oh yeah. It's been so long
gangs
since I fought
for charities
one at a time.
and things like that. It's been a long time since I fought one. And he's slamming him. He's on his back, slamming him up against the rock. Which, if Andre the Giant, even at this late stage in his life when his back was giving out, decided he did not want you on his back, you would be a mosquito.
Yeah.
You would be gone. But it still works in the logic of the film, and it's great. It's always good to see a hero beat someone he's physically a lot smaller than. Yeah. You know, it shows they're very ingenious in their fighting technique. They're not just a pile of muscles.
Like how he passes out and he goes, or he finally gets him asleep and he goes, "Oh, I don't envy the headache you're going to have when you wake up." And he rolls on after Vicini and the princess.
This is where you're getting hints, too, that maybe this isn't another bad guy in the mix, right? Because he's being so noble.
Yeah.
If it was Bruce Willis, he'd just kill fuck his way through these people. Yeah. Die hard with my dick, motherfucker. You know, like, I mean, he would yippee-ki-yay, and it's like, you know, but this is a different hero. Villain.
He catches up to Vicini. Vicini. Yeah.
And, this actor's so great. With his shiny bald head.
Sad he passed.
And his animation.
I was actually, like...
And his amazing ability to run through this garbled word blender logic they run through in the poisoning scene. Yeah, I mean, but it's just this huge... You know, in X-Files, when Scully would have to do an autopsy, and she just techno-babbles for 10 minutes about what happened to the person.
Yeah.
And they had to, like, very specially pick Scully, because they had to get someone who could make that sort of talk interesting.
Yeah.
For all this time, even though most people aren't even going to understand it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They must have specially picked this guy because he can actually... Can you imagine if you'd never seen this performed, having to do... I can't pick the glass in front of me because you're from Australia, blah, 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 blah. Like,
he was also a really good, prolific voice actor, too, for cartoons.
Bet. He's amazing, amazing voice.
He was on tons of cartoons. Trying to remember, I think it was Phineas and Ferb. He did a...
Oh, really?
Was it?
Was he that recent of a passing that he was on Phineas and Ferb, or was he on Invader Zim?
I want to say like 4... Invaders, damn it.
He'd fit perfectly into Invader Zim.
I should not be talking about this subject because I don't know enough about it, but I know he did.
A single tear just fell from Rusty's left eye, ladies and gentlemen.
I remember when I was a kid, he also did a lot of voice acting for a lot of 80s cartoons, too. I think before this movie, actually.
Oh, I'm sure he's been a voice actor. I bet you he was a voice actor ahead of this.
Yeah. I mean, every single time I'd hear him when I was a kid or on even
one
as
of
I got
those voices
older.
that pops up.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's fucking inconceivable. I mean, I didn't say fucking necessarily when I was younger.
No, not around your mom.
Did, but
young kids now would swear. They
Yeah.
swear secret swears like we used to do. These goddamn kids these days, they'll go to school, they'll swear to their friends, but they don't swear in front of grown-ups.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, your daughter probably swears. She probably has swears.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She just asked permission to say shit in front of me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, she's like, can I say this one now?
Would you give her like one a year? Like
No.
She's 14 when she
No,
was
that was
12.
her
You're
deal.
like, you can have damn it. And now you're 13, hell.
Because she would
And
trade
you're
it for...
shit? I don't know. Shit's a pretty advanced one.
No, because we did this thing, and when she was younger, we did the cute, like, she said the word, I was just talking, and I said fuck, and then she did the copycat thing like kids do, and we were in the car, and she was in the back seat, and we thought it was the most hilarious thing in the world, me and her mom, when we were together. And
you were a young dad, too, we should mention.
Yeah, I was 20. Laughing my ass off that she's saying this, and then after about a day of her doing it repeatedly, was like, shit, we got to do something about this. So I sat Zoe down, and I was like, hey, okay, that's not a word you can say. I'll make a deal with you. Every time you say it, I'll give you a little pop in the mouth, but every time I say it, you get to pop me in the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
She pretty much never cussed again and beat the shit out of me. For like 2 years, we had that deal going. And then pretty soon it was like, all right, I'm a fucking adult. Stop hitting me. Like,
and then you get another one. Here's another fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
but it was this perfect deal.
I'm an adult.
Literally, she did not cuss around people. I mean, she just didn't.
I had an idea for a good invention along these lines. It's called a swear card reader. It's like a square card reader that you give to your kid, and then if someone swears around them, they have to swipe in $1 to their college savings account.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. See? Patent pending, internet. Yeah. It's not anything you could enforce or patent, I don't think.
Yeah, plus it's just taking my money to put it in their account.
I mean, other people's kids. My grandfather, if we had that deal, could have put me through college. He was a sailor type guy. Yeah. Oh, so a battle of wits. And this is the third battle where they just make a set of rules up for the battle.
Because why not?
Yeah. And
well, he goes, surely I can't match you in sword skill, and you've bested my giant, so we ain't boxing.
Like, well, let's have a who's taller contest.
And you can't match
also,
my
I don't
brain.
want to have a height contest because I'm just a little guy.
Yeah.
So let's have a battle of wits then.
And he goes, very well. And then he pulls out the vial. He goes, has that vial of stuff, and he goes,
smell this.
Smell, or smell, but don't taste, don't inhale, or whatever.
Don't get any on you.
This is iocane powder. Yeah.
He explains it. It's odorless, tasteless.
Yeah. Comes from Australia.
Oh, he doesn't explain that part. He's like, it's the most deadly poison in the world.
It comes from Australia.
It comes up later in the conversation.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. It comes up during his reasoning about which
glass.
Oh,
his rant. Okay, yeah.
So he turns around and comes on back, and he's got the two glasses, and they're going to have a battle of wits. And we all know how it ends.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, it's like you're looking at me with such anticipation.
I'm just like, oh, what's the next part? Like I'd never seen it before. You were explaining it so well.
Every time you watch it, it's like watching this movie for the first time.
Dude, every time you notice little things every single time and laugh. I love this.
Long explanation, and you're almost sad to see this villain go because he's so entertaining. Yeah. We won't even spoil it for you if you haven't seen it. It's a great, but he does die. But we won't tell you how. Yeah. Rusty mimes it. You missed it. It's now I'm miming it.
Never mind. Don't want to spoil this part. We're going to ruin the rest of the fucking movie for you. But
well, if you haven't seen, I'm baffled by the idea like someone would turn this on and never have seen the movie and listen this far into it, and first it would make no sense, right? You would have no idea what we were talking about. The Cliffs of Insane. What, Eels? A giant man who can pick up Arnold Schwarzenegger at a restaurant? Porno rights? What's going on? It wouldn't make any sense to any swear card reader. Who are these jackholes? I hope that you've watched the movie and you're not just like someone who works for the government and your job's to take the crazy people out. somehow stumbled onto us on the iTunes or something. These guys are going down. And before you come and kill us, this is a real movie. You should check it out.
Check it out. And get your fucking life together if you haven't seen this movie.
Yeah.
Something's wrong with you.
Even if you don't have eyes, find a way to watch it. It's a good movie.
You can listen to it?
Yeah. Maybe the Braille copy of the book.
Are we going to put down blind people too now?
Huh?
What's wrong with you?
I'm just saying, buck up. Pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. Get some eyes and
feel your way through life and get it together.
Have you ever seen the expression on a person's face when they give them the hearing aid they've never heard before?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know who's never seen that expression? The blind.
That's fucked.
That is horrible. Yeah. What are we doing?
You started doing it. I don't know. It's fucking...
The blind people will never understand it. Maybe if they've been blind from birth anyway. That's even worse though, right? If they just struck blind like an hour before someone else they knew found that picture, and they email it to them, and they just got their whole Braille email thing set up, and the thing reading it, they're like, Dick, I went blind a week ago, and I'm dealing with that, and you're sending me this picture of this kid with the hearing aid, and I don't even remember a smile anymore. I'm so upset. So the Man in Black then re-kidnaps... The Man in Black then, he's trying to kidnap what Vizzini has rightfully stolen. We'll be back after this.
There are currently 180 million people worldwide who suffer from blindness or some sort of visual impairment. However, that isn't stopping one local man from making a difference. Eyewitness News reporter Esme Carriega, her eyes were open today to the realities of living, I guess, without sight. Esme, what did you learn?
Todd, I learned that October is World Blindness Awareness Month. I also learned blindness doesn't hold back the dreams and possibilities of leading a happy life.
Really being positive and believing in yourself.
Meet Jason Berner. He heals through his hands and he's completely blind. Berner has been working as a massage therapist for over 15 years. He says he enjoys using his gift of touch to help people.
Make sure I do what's in their best interest and that they're taken care of. I want people walking out of here with a smile.
Berner wasn't born blind. He gradually lost his sight and by 19 was completely blind. But that darkness didn't last long for Berner. He was still blind. However, he made a choice to stay positive.
Decided to quit being locked up in my room. I just, decided that I wasn't doing a darn bit of good doing that, and I decided to get out and live, and now I just go and do. And
Berner is proud of his massage business called Out of Sight, which the jokester mentioned is a play on words.
Come and get an out of sight massage experience. And
Yes, I just have to say spending time with Jason was inspiring, and he is quite the jokester. Reporting from the studio, I'm Esme Carriega.
Good sense of humor. We can all appreciate that, you bet. Esme, thank you.
Okay. I think we should apologize for that. Rusty was struck temporarily blind.
I'm not apologizing for it. You get those fits. You can't stop them.
Vizzini falls dead. And the princess is kidnapped what Vizzini had rightfully stolen. He kidnaps the princess, the Man in Black.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't even make a sentence. We were laughing so hard. The Man in Black takes her, and they have an argument. He announces that he's the Dread Pirate Roberts.
Yeah.
And he's kind of feeling her out about why is she marrying someone else when her true love is gone.
Yeah.
And being kind of a dick to her.
Totally being
He's
a dick
being a complete ass.
He's like, did you wait a whole week before you got engaged to this asshole?
So rude to her. And she finally sees an opportunity to get rid of him.
Yeah.
And throws him off a mountain.
Yeah. and as he's tumbling down, she
tells him to die.
Wish.
Yeah, as you wish, which is one of the many things in this movie that I had a hard time understanding as a kid, that was what he was saying.
Oh, really?
Yeah, somebody had to tell me. I remember vaguely my first viewing, someone was sitting right there, they told me. He said, as you wish.
Oh,
There's a couple that one in True Love I had a hard time understanding as well.
Well, it's too bland.
And There Will Be Blood Tonight is also, it's so garbled when he says it.
Yeah.
It seems like.
quick. Yeah.
So she realizes that the man she just murdered is her one true love and throws herself down the mountain to catch him.
Oh, Wesley.
And this is a great part in the book where the book breaks its fourth wall and goes, you know, what they said down there was really great, but it doesn't work on the page and it's too mushy.
Yeah.
I'm going to skip it. The movie doesn't do that. The movie goes, they're kissing again. And then Columbo's like, you know, and maybe someday you'll like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by that time, the hunter guy, Humperdinck, catches up with both of them. And is at the top of the cliff and sees them run into the Sherwood Forest.
Fire swamp.
Yeah, fire swamp.
Sherwood Forest. They leave this dimension. They taken a wrong turn in their Fantasia.
Yeah. And ended up in the Sherwood Forest.
They go into the fire swamp, and there's some great lines there. We'll never survive. Well, just because no one else has doesn't mean we won't, or something like that. And they figure out all the different things in the fire swamp that can kill them, right?
Yeah.
There's
I like when he first walks in, he goes, "No, it's not so bad," and she gives him a weird look, and he's like, I mean, I wouldn't build a summer home here, but the trees are kind of lovely.
Yeah. Which is that great thing where they talk like modern day people for just a minute, sometimes here and there in the movie and in the book as well. But it's like, you know, and she gets lit on fire and he very calmly puts the fire out.
Yeah.
And at this point in the movie, you think he's fairly invincible.
Yeah.
And then she gets sucked under quicksand and he saves her from the quicksand.
Which is amazing.
This is also, I think, every 80s kid from this point forward in their life terrified of quicksand.
Yeah.
They're like,
there's many reasons, but this is a huge one.
This is one. You're like, it gobbled that woman up.
Yeah.
And bodily all the way. Most movies stop before they're completely submerged. She's under there for like 30. She should be dead.
They do that. It's a huge pause. Like the camera's just above it, and then you see the rat, the ROUSs, or one of them just walking by the sand pit as it pans out. And it stalls out. Like it stalls the whole movie while you're waiting, and I'm freaking out as a kid. I'm like, come on, get her.
This movie does a great job of keeping you off kilter in amazing ways.
Yeah.
You know, you think he's dead.
Yeah.
And then he's not dead because he was killed by the Dread Pirate Roberts. And in this, he tells her all this stuff about how he became the Dread Pirate Roberts down there. But then you're like, oh, they killed her. Well, they could totally kill her because he was just dead a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
And she also tried to kill him like 5 seconds after finding.
And it has, when he's explaining how the Dread Pirate Roberts thing is one of the best lines also in this movie. I know there's so many of them, but when he goes, oh, I started on the boat, and then he goes, please don't kill me, and explains how much he loves.
About it.
Yeah, he explains how much he loves.
Love.
And then he goes, all right, well, go to your cabin or whatever. And he goes, well, the Dread Pirate Rabbit says to Wesley, well, I'll most likely kill you in the morning.
And told him that for a year or something like that.
Before he decides to retire and have him become the Dread. Which is funny because I used to say that to one of my girlfriends before we go to bed. I'd be like, all right.
Michelle, the one that disappeared off the face of the planet a year ago, Rusty?
So Vicini is
dead at this point.
Yeah, I used to say it. I was like, good night, buddy. Honey, sleep well. I'll most likely kill you in the morning. And it was a great fucking in-joke for us, you know. It was,
it's so sweet.
I've said it to Zoe a few times, and she laughs every time, so, you know. But,
that's touching. All right, we're going to
get her out of the...
It's story time, actually. I won't say the comic's name, but I know a comic who was working a club, and he was not, like, going out with this waitress, but he had drinks with the waitress at the comedy club for a while, and then he was going to drive her home.
Yeah, drive her home.
He drove her home. They weren't romantically involved in any way. She dropped her off at her apartment. Next day, she doesn't show up for work. Day one of his 5-day weekend, or 5 shows.
Oh.
So everyone at the club thinks he murdered this woman, and she's not showing up. But
he's showing up to the shows?
Well, as a comic, if you had murdered a waitress, you'd still probably need the $700 for the weekend. Like you couldn't, you would want to murder at the end of the weekend so that you didn't have these awkward. I mean, think about it. Come on, I'd have murdered her Saturday, good point. Like Saturday second show afterwards.
Oh.
Right, you know. So everyone there, beloved comedy club waitress, everyone there loves her, and she's disappeared. Turns out her boyfriend or something was a psychotic and had come and kidnapped her for a few days.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That's a fun week for him. And you not only So it would suck enough to go and be an accountant or an office manager and everyone thinks you murdered Debbie. But they would also understand if you weren't doing your job so well you were under suspicion of having murdered a fellow employee. As a comic, you still need to go up there and kill every night.
Everyone here thinks I kill people.
Kill in the metaphorical comedian sense, not like go up there and spray bullets into the audience. But
it would be hard to go tip your wait staff at that point. I'd be
everyone
like, fuck the wait staff
wants you dead.
Yeah,
There's this climate around.
Whoa.
So. Good comic, though.
How have I not heard this?
Yeah. I'll tell you his name later.
All right.
So, Fire Swamp, he saves her from the quicksand.
Yep.
One trial of the Fire Swamp left, and he doesn't think it exists, even though he's just seen it.
Yeah.
Which is the ROUSs.
Yeah, ROUSs. Rodents of unusual size. Which that's so great.
And in the moment he says that he's not worried about it, one of them jumps and bites him in the shoulder, and it's a pitched battle. This is the most, everything else he's done kind of no sweat. Except for getting her out of the quicksand. But now he's in a pitched battle with what is, I'm pretty sure, a very small person in a suit.
Yeah.
Dressed like a rat.
It's probably the Willow dude.
Oh, you think
he's
so?
He was C-3PO. He was Willow.
He wasn't C-3PO.
Wasn't he?
No, he's R2-D2.
Yeah, sorry. Wrong. Yeah. My head still hurts from the laughter.
No, sorry. Sorry about that.
Yeah, he was R2-D2, and then he was... plays
George Lucas puts him in everything to this day.
Everything.
He's probably still, if R2-D2's in the new Star Wars, they probably still have him in that tin can for just a minute so he can get the money, even though they don't need, because R2's either a robot or they did that all through the prequels. They would just put him in that tin can for a couple minutes.
The dude at Gringotts Bank
credits
in
Warwick, right?
Yeah, Warwick. Yeah, Patrick Warwick. He was also in. He plays the robot on. To bring it back to what you were saying earlier, is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. He plays the depressed robot.
Oh, really?
He's in that too. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
That dude makes a living in being really tight places. For being such a little guy, that's not a bad job. So, Patrick Warwick or Chris Warwick?
I think Patrick might be it.
I was thinking Chris Hardwick. Never mind. Yeah.
It's one of those two. It's either Chris Hardwick or Patrick Warwick.
They're so similar.
We're having name problems today. There's companies that Boeing employs from time to time that are just made up of midgets for in case they lose a crucial piece inside of an airplane, they send a midget in to get it.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah. It'd be nice to be born into an occupation. If you're very big, like Andre the Giant, or very small, like the Willow guy, you pretty much, your life is made for you.
I did a midget tossing one time. Who ever heard of that?
Yes, I've heard of it.
I've done it. Yeah.
Like in Wolf of Wall Street, where you hire it out, like you buy it and you throw them at the Velcro
They have
wall.
A harness, and you see how far you can throw them. I did it in Missoula.
Did you win?
Yeah, I got second place. Me and a midget named Kroll. Like the movie, yes. Yes.
I'd ask to see ID on that. Is that his real name?
I just, no, it's not like I wasn't going to pat him down. I was already kind of humiliating.
Strippers, they have fake names.
Yeah, I got second place on $30.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
$30?
$30.
That's not too bad. I've thrown people before.
They get paid a shit ton,
Nobody gives
too.
me a dime. I pick a person up bodily and throw them somewhere.
They get paid a lot. They it's. I don't think they do it anymore. I think somebody banned it, I'm sure.
I used to always follow or be like a week ahead of midget wrestling or male review when I was on the road. Have I told that comedy story before on the show?
No.
The guy would, I might have. So the guy found our tour and he was already booking male strippers, Chippendales, and midget wrestling. And these bars are like, oh, that's great. Let's do both of those. Do you have any stand-up comedians? Yeah, they'll come, the week in between or the week ahead or the week before. Sometimes we'd get there and the wrong crowd, the old ladies would show up. They want the male strippers. And it's me, Scott Shields, and Richie Stratton.
Nice.
They're like, what kind of a ripoff is this? This is madness.
Well, depending on where you guys were, you'd be probably hotter than most of the
One of the
people
bars
in the
was
town.
in kind of a Mormon community, and he had the male review, and the whole city council tried to put him out of business for it, so he lost a whole bunch of money and got in a pitch battle with them. It was great. Great,
so
good times.
Make it through the fire swamp.
Yep. And then they get immediately captured by the Princeton
Humperdinck,
his six-fingered Baron von Trapp from the Von Trapps, that Sound of Music Von Trapps. Yep, he was their uncle. And the guards, and Wesley wants to throw down.
Yeah.
Which his wife-to-be, spoiler alert, is the voice of reason. And it's like, we can't win against 3 crossbows aimed at us.
This is done.
Mm-hmm.
And
please do not kill him. Just put him back on his pirate ship.
Yeah, I'll marry you without argument. Go send him. Go get him back on his pirate ship. But that's not going to happen. Humperdinck has better plans. He's going to torture the shit out of Wesley and send him to the pit of despair.
The pit of despair, standing in for the Zoo of Death. In the book, it is the 5 levels of the Zoo of Death that Humperdinck has. He's worried about different enemies, and so he's made 5 different levels for like ones that are too strong or cunning, or ones that he needs poisoned, and ones that are too intelligent, I think. And then the 5th one is he just doesn't know what he's going to do with it.
Huh.
And so he has a Zoo of Death instead.
And is it still in a hole?
Yeah, it's 5 stories going underground.
Shit. All right.
Yeah, so it's a different thing, but they didn't have the money to do it in the movie, and I don't think the movie needs it.
No. The one pit of despair is fine.
The middle of this movie does, I feel, drag just a little bit, but not very much.
Yeah.
This movie is pretty quick. And you also have seen pretty much a full movie at this point, because he's beaten all his villains. You think he's just going to get out of the fire swamp, and it feels long enough, even though it doesn't feel long, that could be the movie, you'd be done.
Yeah.
But no, they subvert everything again, and they capture our newly minted hero.
Yeah.
And throw him in the pit of despair.
Which I love the guy they got
understudy
to play
for the Zoo of Death, the pit of despair.
The assistant,
the albino.
Yeah.
I do not like the leprosy on his face. Yeah, the brown herpes on his face really bothers.
They made him great.
It makes me so creeped out.
Yeah, that's
it's the grossest thing in the movie.
I just love how he comes off. He goes, "Where am I?" And he goes, "You're in the pit of."
Oh yeah.
Pit of despair.
You're in the pit of despair.
Yeah. It's like, because you think he's going to be a creepy, like Igor type, and he kind of is, but he talks like he's from Jersey or something.
And this is a good example of that is not done in the book. Of course, you can't pull off that gag in the book because it's just written.
Yeah,
you can't and then he coughs something up and he no longer sounds like Darth Vader. It won't play.
Yeah. No,
this is Rob Reiner threw that in, I believe. Nice. I would guess Rob Reiner threw that in.
Well, he's a genius. So
if not, there are some things Rob Reiner threw in, and when Billy Crystal shows up later, a lot of that is him changing stuff on his own because film is a collaborative fucking art form. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. Yeah. So if you trust your cast, you let them do the right thing.
Yeah.
So the pit of despair. He's like, you're down here. We're gonna hook you to this horrible machine.
Yeah, the torture machine.
And torture you because
it sucks years off your life.
Now, do you think that it is implied that Baron Harkonnen and
wait, the Six-Finger Man?
Yes.
Okay.
And Prince Humperdinck.
They're gay.
You think it's implied
they're
gay?
Totally
it
gay
seems
for each
implied
other.
that they are gay, but they don't know how to express it, or it's just low enough that only the parents get it. But I was watching it and I go, "This
I don't
is
think many kids would get it.
This is a bromance times 2." And he has apparently no interest in women because it's the most beautiful woman in the world. This character, the princess, Princess Buttercup. Buttercup, by the way, it's just some of the names in this are all hilarious on some level, except for Wesley. Wesley's just a standard name, but Humperdinck, Baron Harkonnen, Harkonnen? Buttercup.
Is that his name?
No, that's the guy from Dune, the fat guy that floats around in Dune. I don't remember his name.
There's that point when he's talking about, are you going to come down and watch me torture him?
And he gives
and he goes, look.
He gives a honey-do list.
As much as I love to watch you work, I got my... and
they're both very prim and pressed. I have my wife to murder, Gilder to frame for it, a war to start.
And then he's just like
it's
they
very
share that
effeminate.
They share that.
It's very much implied.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So they ends up torturing him, and then it cuts to just them and them preparing for the wedding and everything. And she flat out tells Humperdinck, like, "Hey, I won't marry. Like, I will be dead." By whatever, like she throws down an ultimatum to the guy.
She'll kill her. She goes, "If I have to marry you, I'm going to kill myself. I think the man I do love is still alive, and we need to go get him." And the prince manipulator. He's a manipulator of women.
Yeah.
He comes up with this very good excuse.
Yeah, I'll send four fastest
ships. We'll catch him. You'll write 4 letters, make them all the same, and he'll come back here. And if he does come back, I'll not protest at all.
Yeah,
you can do that thing.
So
she's like, okay. And this is also, he's planning the wedding and the 500th anniversary of his country, and he knows his dad's going to die, and he wants to have this war.
Yeah.
So all these things are wrapped up, so he wants to make sure that everyone thinks that he's paranoid that the people of Gilder are going to come over.
Yeah.
And
he tells his
get
chief,
his wife.
He goes, he tells the chief
I'm
of
really
police
worried
guy.
about this.
Yeah.
Lock everything up really tightly and clear out the Forest of Thieves, I think it is. Is that what it's called?
Yep.
Forest of Thieves? Which you shouldn't, as a politician, have a Forest of Thieves.
Yeah.
Unless you're the mayor of Detroit or something like that. But even you would think, like, it's called the Forest of Thieves. We should have cleaned it out a long time ago.
Or at least rename it the Hilltop or something.
Yeah.
Just, you know.
Grit City, Forest of Thieves. Yeah. Where do you live? The Forest of Thieves. Okay, you're under arrest.
Yeah.
Like, are you a tree? No, then you're under arrest.
Isn't it now where it cuts back to, like, it makes all that shit known that he's going to send that ship and everything?
Well, the only way that you can get Wesley back into the story at this point, because they put him in a horrible situation. He's chained. The chains are too thick. He has no lock picks or anything. And, and he's strapped to a torture machine. You need to have him rescued.
Yeah.
Well, only 2 other characters aside from the Prince and the Baron know he exists. Oh, and Buttercup.
Yeah.
And so you need to make them meet again. And how do you make them meet again? Well, you're too paranoid of a prince. You get the Forest of Thieves cleaned out.
And you use Fezzik.
And Fezzik bumps, and he's hired under the Brute Squad.
Yeah.
This was before people named things in subtle ways at all.
Yeah.
The Forest of Thieves, they called the toilet a shitter. It was really, they didn't put much effort into things. There's no Latin bases or anything like that.
Like, it cuts to the Spaniard drunk as shit on the ground going...
He's reverted because he doesn't have Vicini anymore. He's supposed to go back to where Vicini met him.
Yeah.
And when Vicini met him, he was a drunk.
Yeah.
And the Brute Squad is not able to boot him from his little drunken post. He's like, I'm waiting for Vicini. And he's fucking wasted.
Swinging a sword at the guy with the mate.
And he's drunk or not. He's one of the top 10 sword fighters in the world, So he's, And then the
Fezzik shows up, and to boot, he gets the task of booting this crazy Spaniard out of this area, but when he shows up, it's his friend.
It's his buddy.
He's like,
and so to identify himself to his buddy, he throws out a rhyming thing.
Yeah.
And then knocks out his coworker.
Yeah.
And nurses Vicini back to health.
Doing the dunking in the water. Waterboards him.
Warm water, cold water. I assume that's that. Like, which side of your head feels hot and cold? Like that science experiment you do in elementary school with 2 things of water.
Yeah.
Like, Mr. Wizard did this. And he gets them all back to health.
The cool part is, like, the granddad who's actually reading it to the kid is kind of narrating what's happening in the story. Mm-hmm. There's a great point to move the story along. It just kind of pushes it. He's going...
Yeah, because I cut out all the crap. You just you get to realize that he's been hired by the Brute Squad.
Yep.
Which is great for him. He's not unemployed in Greenland. He's got skills. And
he has a skill set. Knocking down doors.
Mm-hmm. And he meets his buddy. He's loyal to his buddy. And he has noticed in the interim part when he's off screen that there is a 6-fingered baron around town.
Yeah. Did somebody tell him? How did he find out?
He just knows, because he's working for the Brute Squad. Maybe he bumped into him. It's like one of those unimportant details that they've just cut out of. Yeah, Fezzik tells the Spaniard that, hey, I found the 6-fingered guy. He's in the castle.
That's right. Okay.
And the Spaniard is like, well, we got to get in that castle. He's like, can't. There's 30 guys. I can't even fight 30 guys on my own. He's like, the only way in there is the man in black.
Yeah.
He's the only one.
He's dead, and he's the one that used to plan shit for us.
He's got all my planning. Yep.
Yeah.
And then he does a lot of good deduction there, too. He's like, we must find him. But in the meantime, the prince has been totally emasculated by the princess and called a coward.
Yeah.
Because she's like, he will come for me, he will save me. And the prince is kind of an idiot here. Because he is chained to a torture machine. She figures it out, that he didn't send the 4 boats.
He didn't send the 4 fastest ships. And then he gets pissed off, and he runs back to the torture machine,
which sucks a year of your life per degree of torture that it's set to, and throws it to 50.
Yeah. We're cranking this up to 11:51.
That would have been great, because Rob Reiner also directed Spinal Tap.
Dude.
Like, most torture machines only go to 50, but this one goes to 51. Yeah.
That would have been great.
There's actually the hat he wore in Spinal Tap is in Spinal Tap was first, because the hat he wore in Spinal Tap, part of the agreement that he would score the film, the guy who scored it said, I want to see that hat somewhere in the child's room. So it's somewhere in there.
Oh, that's cool.
In the set dressing of the child's room.
Shit.
So you thought the kid's room was cool before.
Yeah.
It has a fucking hat from the production of Spinal Tap in it as well.
Fred Savage. I want that room.
You can have it now. You're an adult. You can put all this together. You can hey.
Yeah, but then bringing a
chick. Yeah, my new girlfriend who I've known for 3 weeks, and you want to see? I've recreated the exact room Fred Savage had, and she slowly like backs out, deleting Tinder from her phone as she, like then calling the police, like scared.
Or you could just hopping into it.
Oh, just don't
like
mention
ready
it
to
at all.
Go. No. Maybe she likes the movie and. That's pretty much my dream girl. Like, never mind.
Your dream girl wanted a bag of prepubescent Fred Savage.
No, just me in that room. That would be my dream girl.
With the doll of Fred Savage inflated or no?
No, Fred Savage isn't anywhere around.
He's doing all right. I think he's still in like a movie a year. What are you talking about? He's still acting. I think he's on Broadway. He still works, goddammit.
No, he's got the new show. He's got the new show with Rob Lowe.
Oh, yeah?
The closer or the...
Oh, is he on that?
The finisher? I don't remember the name of the...
Finisher?
The quitter? No, I don't remember the name of the show.
Doogie Howser, MD.
Same era.
We might be wondering about this for years. Anyway.
Yes. No, but he's on a new show with Rob Lowe. And it's actually kind of funny. He plays a lawyer.
I like Rob Lowe, too.
Yeah. Speaking of another 80s icon.
Savage alone.
Leave Fred Savage alone.
Yeah, so... He's so scared of him, even though he's chained to a torture machine, because the prince is at heart a coward. He only hunts animals.
Throws it up to 50 and kills. Here's the thing: when he throws it up to 50 and he's torturing the guy, the look on the albino's face. Did you notice that?
Is it just terror?
No, like turned on.
Oh, really?
Like he looks sexually turned on by this dude getting tortured.
I did not notice that.
Go back and watch it. It's like
maybe that's the thing you should build a bedroom out of. Then is the torture machine.
I've dated too many of those girls. Way too many of those. Okay.
Well, what if yours went up to 51?
The suction things.
You don't really understand my Spinal Tap Princess Bride reference. We came all the way through the Zoo of Death down here.
I've dated too many women interested in torture chambers. Okay, I'm good.
No,
that's good. I'm not. Don't look at me that way. Stop it.
I want to see how far you can stumble on this. Like I've dated.
We'll save that one for. I'll tell you later.
So the interesting thing about this plot, okay, one, they do kill Wesley.
Yeah,
dead. They kill him before Fez and Fez and Ignacio have popped back together. They just murder him.
No. They're together. They're trying to find the black dude.
Oh, yeah.
And then he screams so loudly that can only be the pain of blah, blah, blah,
The man
blah.
in black. There are actually no black characters. You said the black dude. I didn't want them to think we'd changed movies.
Yeah. We're actually on to Passenger 57.
Yeah. Trying to find Wesley Snipes. Like the IRS. They're trying to find the man in black.
They hear the sound of absolute...
Everything the prince does to save himself, though, is what ends up causing the whole third act to be a success.
Yeah.
Clearing out that forest causes those two to meet, and then killing Wesley's the only reason they would ever find him before the wedding.
Yeah.
Because no one else knew where that thing was but the albino and them.
And say they go to towards the sound of ultimate anguish. Because the Spaniard goes... I made that. My heart made that same sound the day my
father died, and now the man in black makes it.
Yeah,
because
for
he's
his true love,
which is the one actual plot hole I will say in this movie.
Absolutely,
they never explain why the Spaniard would know that he was searching for true love. It never comes up, right?
Yeah, no,
it never
comes
comes
up in the sword fight.
Mm-mm.
They don't tell. He doesn't say it.
Doesn't say it to him. Yep. So
he just made the leap.
It made the leap, or it's in some of the cut material.
Oh, yeah.
Too much of an abridgment. But the book, it's a little bit different. He's like, he's in anguish. I don't know why. But we'll find him anyway. So it's kind of a plot hole in the book, too. But you have, as William Goldman, done this amazing thing where plot holes don't matter.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I just cut out a lot of it. Maybe I cut out too much. And that gets us to Miracle Max.
Well, before that, he gets him in the... He has his father.
Him.
Yeah, he goes. The albino's out with the wood.
His father to direct him.
Yeah, he has his the albino's out with his wheelbarrow, and he goes, "Fezzik, jog his memory," because they're trying to get to the. And Fezzik just hits him on the head. He goes, "I think I jogged too much." Yeah.
Can you imagine that fist? Because when him and Fezzik meet again, when Fezzik finds him at the bar, that is when you really see how big Andre the Giant's hands are. Massive. They're as big as, and that guy is about 6-something feet tall himself.
Yeah.
Andre the Giant doesn't look necessarily as big as he is in a lot of this movie because his co-star is huge.
Yeah.
You want to hear another story about Andre the Giant before we go to our next break?
Boy, do I.
Oh, Andre the Giant, like I said, he had to learn, he was illiterate when they picked him up. So he learned all these lines by listening to Rob Reiner speak them into a tape recorder, playing it back.
Yeah.
He was not acting fast enough for the Spaniard. The Spaniard kept asking him, please, act faster. You must speed up your acting so that I can react to you. And wouldn't do it. The Spaniard hauls off and slaps him in the face. First day of production.
What?
Andre the fucking Giant. And Andre, for whatever reason,
let it slide?
Acted faster after that.
Oh, shit.
He tuned it up to where the whole set, of course, stops. Like everyone's like, well, we might have to recast the Spaniard because he is about to get killed, fucked, and eaten.
Kill, fucked, and eaten? In that order?
Well, yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, that's the Christian way.
I mean, yeah, it is. It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
I have my order wrong.
Eat. Well, you don't eat.
Sometimes I fuck, then kill, then eat.
You can't eat, fuck, kill.
I mean, you could.
Coprophilia. We'll consult some of our interns.
We fuck, then eat, then kill. That seems more humane. If you're gonna, this is like
fuck, kill, eat. Fuck, kill, eat's the actual order.
Fuck, kill, eat.
Sex with them, because then you're not necrophiliac. They're alive when you're having sex with them. Then you kill them, and then finally you don't want to eat them, and then they die during the. That's really mean.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a new game you can play like Marry, Fuck, Kill. But it's kill, fuck, eat. Have you played Marry, Fuck, Kill?
I've heard of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where you pick a person for each one of those?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, you give them like 3 options, right? And then they have to pick amongst those.
Well, you get like, who do you want to marry, fuck, or was it not marry, fuck, kill?
I thought it was like, you'd be like Bo Jackson, Bob Newhart, Danny DeVito, marry, fuck, kill. And then
so
they had to pick the 3.
I'm asking you now, marry, fuck, kill, Vicini, the Spaniard, and Andre the Giant.
I'd fuck Andre the Giant.
Whoa!
Just to be able to say
that would hurt.
I did that. It hurt him, motherfucker.
Oh, okay.
Who are the other ones?
Vicini and the Spaniard.
Vicini and the Spaniard. I'm already married to homosexuals, so.
Homosexual guy, or what do you?
Kill the Spaniard, because holy shit.
Why?
Well, then I'd be the greatest swordsman alive, apparently.
Then you would be?
Yeah, if I'd killed the Spaniard.
I don't. It's not like that. So you say that you would sword him to death?
I would put that.
Because you probably just shoot him.
No, I would shoot him, but I would put it around town that we'd want to. You're
like the kid that killed Jesse James, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, wouldn't you?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, I asked you this question, so I didn't have to ask it.
And then I would marry Vincini, but poison him because I know how to do that. It's easy.
Yeah,
I couldn't tolerate living with him. Like, he's so full of himself.
I would kill Vicini. I'd fuck the Spaniard because he's got that nice long hair.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You marry Andre the Giant because he's only
fucking lovable.
Live into his 40s.
Your bed would never be cold.
Huh?
He's so huge. It'd be nice and toasty.
He had to buy a new bed every fucking day, too. I think he had like a custom-made house, actually, because he's so big. So you would feel like a little boy the whole time you were married to him.
That'd be kind of cool.
Like, you're holding hands with him, your hand would disappear. That's gay. Like, two guys getting married like that, if somebody love each other in a way, but like, sure, be gay. But I mean, like, that's really weird. Big guy and another big guy, but he just looks like Danny DeVito, Arnold Schwarzenegger set up when they were related. So
Twins
that's wrong.
too.
Yeah.
Reloaded.
Oh. All right, so we're going to come back with Miracle Max here in just a couple minutes.
Probably,
Act 3. Yeah, we should probably press pause.
Welcome to Mayfield Place. A typical street in the burbs.
Morning, Walter!
Where nothing much ever happened.
Walter's dog just took a dump on Rumsfield's lawn again.
Until the Klopeks moved in.
Klopeks?
Klopex. Klopek. No one goes in, no one comes out.
Neighbors from hell.
It was a nice place to live.
He said he thinks the Klopeks are evil incarnate.
Well, you're much too smart to fall for that, aren't you, honey?
But now...
Carol!
You wouldn't want to visit there.
Ray, this is Walter.
The The Burbs.
I'm going over the fence, and I'm not coming back till I find a dead body.
Ray, do you want him to take your family, kidnap them, tear their livers out, and make some kind of satanic pate? We found Walter!
We got a real problem.
I hit the gas line, I'd run!
God, I love this street.
Tom Hanks.
I think we are overreacting.
No. The Burbs. It's one hell of a neighborhood.
Hey, honey, I think we should move.
Rusty.
Yes.
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father.
Prepare to die.
Prepare to die. So Wesley lay dead by the machine. Goldman, when he was writing this, was kind of, I think, blocked a little bit.
Yeah.
And he's, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do?
I killed the main character. What the fuck do I do?
No, before he did that.
Oh, yeah.
And then he sat down and he decided, Wesley lie dead next to the machine. And he wrote that and burst into tears, according to his commentary track. This man admits that he was so attached to the story, and he had written himself into this corner, and that was all he could do, was kill that character, and he did it, and it affected him. So this is another example of my theory that projects that are composed by skilled craftsmen, not just some dork with a couple microphones put together a podcast, but skilled craftsmen who it's a labor of love will often come up with some of the most amazing stuff.
Yeah.
And so many of the people involved in this really, really loved this book and transferring it into a movie so much that it just stands out so well. But I mean, he was really attached to it to the point where killing a fictional character, which as an author you probably do quite a bit, affected him to the point of bringing him to tears.
Which is, that's fucking rad.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, although I didn't cry when Wesley died. I was like, what the fuck? I remember watching it not watching it. I don't remember the first time I watched it, but it's an amazing thing to kill your main character. And then
in most movies, you have some sort of red shirt there to kill off, to up the stakes for everyone else.
Yeah.
You know, it's a cinematic trick. Yeah. Firefly.
Yeah.
The movie. Is it called just Firefly? Serenity. Great movie. If you haven't watched it and the whole show, and you're not like a maniac who's like begging for the series to come back 20 years after the fact or whatever, 10 years or however far we are, it's probably not coming back for another 20 years. When everyone's not doing anything again, then they might do another made for TV or something. But so
they fucking kill Wash.
Josh Wheaton.
Yeah.
Kills Wash.
No, it's Joss Wheaton. Not Josh Wheaton.
What?
Josh Wheaton.
Sort of horrible parent. I know he loves his mother, but who names their kid Joss? So it's hard for everyone in his whole life to... But yeah, Joss Wheaton.
Yeah.
Well-regarded screenwriter and now director.
Yeah.
Of Avengers movies and stuff, and I think he directed that movie. Good director.
Made an amazing... Serenity is an amazing movie. Standalone, great movie.
Got his start on Roseanne, which was an amazing television show. I will go to the mattresses on that.
You can go to the mattresses with Roseanne on that. I hated that fucking show.
Well, I don't... probably hit a little close to home for you?
No, I just hated
didn't like it.
I just something about it. Not that I didn't laugh at it at parts, but it was still just like meh.
Have you tried it as an adult? Have you thrown it on?
No, I probably should.
Because it's a drama as much as it is a comedy. That's why it was so groundbreaking.
I remember something about
It was a big subversion of sitcoms. Anyway, you love Joss Wheaton.
Yes.
He got his start on Roseanne and was a educated man in terms of story and craft. And he kills Wash.
Yeah.
And that a beloved character. And he does that so that you do in that movie honestly believe that the whole rest of the main cast is going down.
Yeah.
This is it. There's no more Firefly. They're all gonna die. He already also killed off the prophet guy or whatever.
Yeah.
The series is Magical Negro, as TV Tropes would call it. Would already been. That's what they call him.
Yeah.
On TV Tropes. I'm not a racist that I know of. I haven't been called a racist in weeks.
I'm just letting you dig yourself out of that hole like you did earlier. Go ahead.
You imagine what it would be like if you were a blind man.
Don't bring that up, man. My stomach still hurts. So he made that creative character and cried about it.
He kills off his main character, and at this point, are these guys just gonna storm the castle themselves, or what?
Done?
It's really confusing for a kid. And so this is another point in the movie where the kid stops. He's like, "Grandpa, you're reading it wrong."
Yeah.
And the kid gets to speak for the audience.
Yeah.
Like, he can't be dead. He's totally dead. Who kills Prince Humperdinck? Nobody, which is great.
Prince Humperdinck lives.
Yeah.
What? Why did you tell me this damn story?
He's getting really upset. He's like an American film audience. No, I expect certain things to happen.
Yeah. I love now that we're actually like making we're making movies like Nightcrawler in America. Have you seen Nightcrawler?
Oh yeah, that's as depressing to me as Whiplash was.
Yeah, but it ends with like he fucking gets away.
Mm-hmm.
Like that used to never happen. Like America just wants happy endings all the fucking time. Literal ones and movie ones. It's just
it's so rare that you can pitch a movie like that and then get it. I mean, that was not an independent film, but it's not a studio tentpole Iron Man
normal.
Yeah, I mean, you certainly wouldn't have a movie where Doctor Doom completely decimates the Fantastic Four and the only one still alive is the Invisible Woman, but she can't have kids anymore at the end of it. That's not going to happen. And maybe a comic book movie would get a little bit closer to that because comic books bring back more people to life than Jesus at this point, or the Bible as a whole.
Yeah.
So
they
but yeah, it's like the kid is just baffled, and that's where the audience is supposed to be too. And since they have this narrative trick of the grandfather reading to the kid, the screenwriter just gets to have the kid say exactly what the audience is thinking, and these weird meta jokes that the meta means something that references itself. I read that in the meta dictionary. It's the only entry. Well,
apologize.
There's other entries, but they all go. They all see that. I'm not going to apologize. That was a sophisticated pun.
I'm not sorry.
No.
I thought you were explaining meta to me, like motherfucker.
It was a callback to when I actually had a bit about apocryphal, and you got all pissy last week. I know what it means. We do have fun here at Comics on Film by Rated 80s.
So they take him, they grab the Man in Black, and Andre the Giant is just carrying him to the wizard's house.
Yeah, they get in there because his dad's sword gets him close to the knot that opens the tree. And then in the book, they fight their way through 5 layers of different, like, worse and worse creatures. And very Hitchhikers to the Galaxy-esque kind of in the explanations of these creatures. Like that sort of strange, tonal, clinically describing terrifying things kind of stuff. It's very funny in the book, but you don't need it, and it's not there because it costs too much.
Yeah.
It would have been okay. I mean, the movie's not overly long. It wouldn't be overly long to have 10 minutes of action going down there, but they just go down there, they grab him, and they need a miracle.
Yeah.
Because he is dead.
Yeah.
He's been tortured to 51. He is dead. And he goes, I hope we have enough money to buy a miracle, because Fezzik's got some money for working for the Brute Squad.
Yeah.
And so they go find Miracle Max.
Which, when they walk up to his door, Andre the Giant has Wesley under his arm, just like ragdollish, just so easily carried.
This was a late point in his life where I think certain things like that he was able to do, but his back was going out on him, as a human spine would when carrying, a Volkswagen.
500,
basically,
600 pounds.
Big guy who just won't stop growing. So at a later point, they had to rig people up when they're jumping into his arms.
Yeah.
To lighten him up because it could really hurt him.
Yeah.
And of course, obviously, going up that rope. Spoiler alert: they did not force him to climb the cliffs of insanity for real.
Fucking hope not.
No.
They knock on Miracle Max's door, or is it Miracle Max or is
Magic Mike?
Magic Mike?
No, I think it was Miracle Max actually. It was Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Billy Crystal in Magic Mike.
Yeah.
Made no money. Good thing they recast it with that tandem guy. Tatum?
I don't know.
Whatever.
You go visit Miracle Max, and it is established that Miracle Max is, he's off-putting older Jewish stereotype.
Yeah.
he's kind of jolly in a bitchy, cynical sort of way.
Who was fired by Humperdinck because he used to work for his dad.
Yeah, and he's very upset about that, and he doesn't want to do this miracle because it's not enough money, which is he's got like 60 pieces of silver or something.
Yeah, 65.
Yeah. 60 the amount Jesus was sold out for. Anyway, enough dancing around anti-Semitism.
Let's head straight on to it.
No, this movie, if you watch it, you could not be an anti-Semite. You would love the Semites. Because it's written by a Jewish person. Rob Reiner's a Jewish person who directed it. And this character is Jewish, obviously. And you just are like, who could hate these people? I don't think there even are neo-Nazis. You know why? Here's why. Have you
All right.
Have you seen Breaking Bad?
I need to buckle up for a sec.
You need a seatbelt? You've seen Breaking Bad.
Yes, all the way
Tip
through.
to tail. There's a point at which, what do they call him?
Spoiler.
The guy looks like Matt Damon with Down syndrome.
What? Oh,
the neo-Nazi kid character, and he falls in love with the Jesse punches him. No one can see the look you're giving me. You have to verbalize that. You know who I'm talking about.
The neo-Nazi.
He goes, Billy Hitler. He shoots the little boy on the motorcycle.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen the series, forget I said anything about that. But I worry about spoilers. But you know what? If you're not exactly as up to date on pop culture as I am, suck my dick.
You're an original hipster. You're an OG hipster.
Here, okay, we'll get back.
You didn't see the look he just gave me, but
we'll get back to the why there aren't neo-Nazis thing in a minute. Okay. What I want to do is I'm going to run through everything that actually hasn't happened yet in Game of Thrones that has happened in the books. You ready?
Okay, yeah, no.
No, you don't want to do that?
No.
All right.
You ruined that shit for me. I'll go Andre the Giant on you.
That's actually the one thing you're not allowed to spoil for people is
Understandable.
Game of Thrones.
Or I think Walking Dead.
Hmm?
Those are pretty equal to me as far as spoilers go. Do not fuck with either one of those. Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't watch Walking Dead, so.
Well, you should.
No, I should not.
Why not?
Because then I just have a podcast about how I don't like zombie things.
Well, you don't like zombie things?
No.
The more realistic enemy in a movie you couldn't wrap your head around?
What's realistic about a zombie?
It's more realistic than like Godzilla or fucking this entire movie we're talking about.
I don't know. No. I would a big rat versus a reanimated human corpse, so you have to kill his brain.
All right.
You can have bigger rats. Let's give them steroids or something. Why would that be?
It's a more realistic world.
Giant eels? Well, this one does have a resurrection, but a zombie thing has a billion resurrections.
Yeah. I think it's just because it's a creepy, the idea of that you could be infected with something and come back as a dead thing. It's more humanistic, I guess, or just like...
You keep using that word. I don't think you know what it means.
Humanistic. Whatever.
It speaks to a certain type of horror that you enjoy.
Yeah,
I don't like that
feels
one.
more.
I'm not the zombie guy. I don't mind.
Right.
I don't mind. You know, Shaun of the Dead I think is a great movie.
Great movie.
But the rest of them, Shaun of the Dead of course needs all the other 75 movies to be a satire of.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with it. I mean, I'm not going to participate in a zombie walk or anything like that. You know?
It happened.
Mm-hmm.
So the Miracle Max.
I haven't explained why.
Oh God, yeah.
No one hates the Jews.
Why no one hates the Jews, or why everybody should?
Okay, this is actually a plot hole in Breaking Bad.
Okay.
So he falls in love with the girl who does the business side of the meth in the later seasons.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about? Yeah. And they don't want to sell meth anymore, but he wants to keep selling it because he wants to hang out with that girl.
Yeah.
And then his neo-Nazi uncle goes, well, I guess the heart wants what the heart wants. Well, that's a line from a Woody Allen film. How would he have ever seen that? Or does he hate Woody Allen movies so much that then he decided to become a neo-Nazi? I need answers.
Drove him to Nazism?
I could see.
I could see how Woody Allen movies would do that. Honestly, I hate Woody Allen.
I find them to be pretentious art house garbage, and I've never even seen one.
Yeah. Wait, what?
You heard me. Okay. I will stand by that statement. But anyway, so Miracle Max, played by Richard Belzer. Miracle Max. Oh, did I get that name wrong?
Yeah, I think it's Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum. Okay. Magic Mike. Space Jam. That's the movie we're doing a podcast about, right? Is Space Jam?
I believe I can fly.
Wait, what's the movie where Shaq's a genie? Shazam! They take him to see Shazam in my upcoming fan edit of Miracle Max and the Princess Bride. Miracle Max is played by Shazam, but in the original, it's not. In this one, it's played by Billy Crystal.
Billy Crystal fucking nails it.
And totally, nails it. It's doing a little improv. He's, I don't want to heal your friend. Well, let's check him out. I have magical bellows. And Bellows do you have a kid who has a grandparent that's alive and she goes over and visits her grandparent? My grandparents had bellows at their place because they had a fireplace, and you take the bellows and you bellows the fire. Is your child at 14 years old here in the year 2015? Would she know what a bellows is, or would she think it's just a wacky thing hanging around in this fantasy world?
I think it's a wacky thing from cartoons because you
you do see it in
blew things up in cartoons.
Oh yeah, horrible murder weapon in cartoons because sometimes the bad guy would pop.
Yeah, exactly.
And you think about that. That is actually terrifying.
Filling somebody up with air till they pop.
Oh my goodness.
That is really terrifying. That's scarier than zombies.
Yeah.
So he fills his mouthful of air, fills his lungs full of air, and then yells in his ear.
Hey, what's
worth staying here for? And he goes, true love, in a gruff, weird thing. And he goes, see, true love. That's what he wants.
He said,
he goes, no. He said, to blathe. And of course we all know to blathe means, and then his wife kicks in the door. Yeah. Chews him out.
They have,
true love.
Again, just like Neverending Story, this combative but loving elderly relationship. That's not what he said. You know he said the other thing. But you want you don't want to try your miracle skills because you have no self-confidence right now. He can't get it up in the sack, strangers and stuff. Hey, stop it. Humperdinck.
Yeah.
I like how we're just doing the movie in real time at this point. This is our summary of the film, and it's now taken twice as long as the movie.
We do that.
Yeah.
We just do that.
It's like we've taken Bellows to the movie
and
inflated it.
Added half-witted jokes. Beautiful.
And so his wife bullies him. You know, people are like, bullying is wrong, but this woman bullies this man into bringing back our hero.
It's not bullying if you're married. Right?
Oh, yeah.
It can't be.
No.
It's just
it used to be
abuse?
You could beat a wife with a stick no larger than your thumb.
Yeah. Reference the podcast we're not going to put out.
Podcast we never released.
Good idea. Good idea. That was from Boondock Saints.
I can't believe how much we're going to have to tighten it up after this episode. It's crazy.
I don't think we will.
I don't think we'll ever get that far. This episode, we're 20 minutes from the end of this movie, 6.5 hours from the end of this podcast.
So they make up a magic pill for him to stuff down his throat while he's dead.
Coat it in chocolate.
Yeah, coat it because it helps it go down easier.
Makes it. Yeah, it's like why should he care? He's dead. The taste.
Wait 15 minutes before you give him the pill, and don't let him swim for an hour.
Yeah, a good hour.
Yeah. And then they do the perfect thing, the thing I say to my daughter every day before she goes off to school. They leave Magic Mike's hut, and they're walking away, and then he goes,
Shazam!
He goes, the couple come to the door, and they go, all right, well, good luck. Are they going to do it? No, they're never going to do it.
Yeah, take a miracle.
Take a miracle. Have fun storming the castle. And I, to this day, every day that I remember, but most days when I send my daughter after school, after fucking high school, I go, have a good day. Have fun storming the castle. And we giggle about it every single day. Yeah, it's just, it's one of those pop culture things that just
I do not envy you on the day you say that too loud and she realizes what embarrassment is.
Well, I don't drop her off at school.
Oh, what do you do?
She goes to ride the bus.
Oh, she rides the bus?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
So she just leaves the house.
Okay. Well,
and I go, have fun storming the castle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'd totally show up to her fucking house in her high school in short shorts and embarrass the crap. Actually, no, that would kill her.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way I would.
She listens to this, she might kill you. She knows where you sleep.
Yeah.
It's not a... You ever seen that Game of Thrones? She'll go Arya on your ass. Spoiler alert!
No.
Arya is a girl child Satan. in the show.
I thought we weren't going to talk about Game of Thrones.
Darker.
That's off limits.
Huh? Have you seen it? I'm only saying about things that have been on the TV show.
Yeah, I know.
Okay,
but maybe they haven't.
For other people,
I'm being polite to our listeners. The two of them that are listening.
Like if someone's made it this far, I'd like to know who they are. Please leave a comment or something. We've been working pretty hard on this, and it sounds like it's all fun and games. But a good joke about a blind man not being able to see a picture of a deaf kid takes a lot of work.
It's not all just bullshitting. All right, before we get too tuckered out, let's finish off this movie.
So they go and see Miracle Max, and he goes, Shazam! Save our Sonics.
Yes.
And...
And they
take him over to the castle. They get a wheelbarrow.
They're up on a portcullis. You know what a porkless is?
Yeah, it's a machine with 2 forks on it that lifts pork.
Not a pork lift.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's a really funny
Portcullis.
pun. Portcullis. Yeah. It's just a wall on the outside of a castle before you get to the main castle.
Give him the pill.
Yeah, and they gave him the pill, and he goes, well, they're going to take it a while, and his eyes pop open instantly. It's just funny to me.
But then he's paralyzed from the lower eyeballs down.
Yeah. Not the upper eyeballs. He has those.
Lower eyelid, like the one that doesn't move. You blink with your eyes. It's just from there down, can do nothing except his mouth. Yeah. So from the soul patch down, he is paralyzed beyond belief, and does some of the best flopping around acting I think we ever see until Wolf of Wall Street.
Definitely.
Have you seen Wolf of Wall Street?
Yeah.
That's some good flapping around, loose acting. But try ever sober to make your neck as limp as he makes his neck in this movie.
Yeah.
If you're not blackout unconscious, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just a nervous guy to begin with.
You're tense.
That's
You're
true.
Tense.
A little bit tense, yeah. Always been told that by my tensionologist.
I was just dropping the ball on that one. That was bad.
I don't know. What would
Getting
I say,
tired?
though?
Is that it?
Not tired. I was kind of like, about 4 words into that, I'm like, I'm fucked. And that's all you can think. Once you've thought that, I was too tense to carry off the fucking joke. And I got really nowhere to go with this. I'm fucked. But my mouth is still going because you're doing now. You're looking at me expectantly, like I'm gonna hit. But there's no punchline coming. This is Python-esque.
What I love about you is you will ramble until something hits, but when it doesn't hit, you
just keep going. Yeah.
You scramble, you flounder. It's adorable. And I get that look at you, so we should do this on video. I think it'd be funnier.
Coming up soon, we're gonna have a live YouTube stream.
Yeah.
We won't be able to take hour-long lunches at our podcast.
Yeah, damn it.
And only discuss internal Tacoma comedy politics during the lunch, not actually set up the podcast. We're giving away too much.
So they're gonna storm the castle, but they've increased the guards to 60 guards now. But they come up with this idea. He goes, "What's our assets?" They got my sword, Fenzie's Andre the Giant's brawn. And he goes,
and your brain.
If we only had a wheelbarrow, now that would be something. He's like, I could find a wheelbarrow. Well, why didn't you list that under our assets?
Under our assets, he's like the albino had the wheelbarrow.
Yeah, exactly. And he goes, if we had a Holocaust cloak, that'd be something. And out of nowhere, Andre the Giant just whips it out of his shirt.
Goes,
like,
it was at Shazam's house.
Yeah.
And it fits so well, he said I could keep it.
Yeah.
It's a total Deus Ex Machina. Except that Deus means magic from the machine.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Magic Mike from the machine. Shazam! Shazam! Hey-oh! Save our Sonics.
Shut the fuck up. God damn. I don't think anyone could tell. If we did like a drunk episode, I don't think anyone could tell that we were drunk as opposed to sober.
Well, our speech would be slurred.
Yours would.
That's right. You're a much more accomplished alcoholic. Fuck you and your
and I slur anyways.
Your speech would be slurred.
I don't open up my mouth when I talk.
So from these few items, much like in the video game Monkey's Island, he formulates a plan based on what is in his inventory. and basically it involves lighting Andre the Giant on fire while they carry him in a wheelbarrow while Wesley is drugged behind limp-bodied Christopher Reeve style.
Yeah.
Back before they had wheelchairs and stuff. You think the wheelbarrow, right? The logic would say, oh, we'll throw me in the wheelbarrow and that's how we'll storm the castle.
Yeah.
No, they put the heaviest human being outside of the sumo wrestlers on the wheelbarrow.
And they take him down to scare away the 60 guys.
They scare away the whole brute squad with him because they say he's the Dread Pirate Roberts. There will be no survivors.
No survivors.
And this is another example of when it's really hard to understand Andre the Giant throughout the entire movie.
But it's perfect.
Now, in the 80s, closed caption exists, but you had to have like a machine that would reinterpret the closed caption for you until they made it federal law that it's on all TVs. Yeah. And then it still didn't really catch on until...
For those deaf guys. Thank God. They get to hear now.
Well, you know what they can never hear? The sound of a blind guy getting new robotic eyeballs put in.
God damn it.
Dread Pirate Roberts is here for your souls, is what he says, in case you saw this without the aid of subtitles, closed caption for the hearing impaired. And if your robot eyes couldn't quite make out the resolution.
Why is it so funny?
Because it's horrible, and horrible things are funny. So they successfully get that far. They threaten to rip off the guy's arms who has the key. The guy gives up the key, as you would, because Andre the Giant could literally do that to a person. Yeah.
Let's get through this movie.
And I think the next sequence where Ignacio, I forgot it, I fucked it again. His name, where the Spaniard encounters the Baron and starts chasing him, and that fight I think is actually better of a payoff than the love story.
Yeah, absolutely.
My book. Maybe this is why I'll die alone.
The first part where the six-fingered guy comes down the hallway with 4 dudes,
and
he's matched off with the Spanish guy, and he's like, all right, kill him.
Inigo Montoya, I got it, I nailed it.
All right. You'll fuck it up next time.
Inigo Montoya, fuck you.
He sends the 4 guys after to kill Inigo Montoya.
Turns them into mincemeat in seconds, and believably so.
And then is standing there in the hallway, and he says the line. This is the first time he says
Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
And then the dude
turns bitch and runs.
Runs down the hallway.
The 6-fingered man, the Baron, the torturer, is a bitch-made motherfucker. Turns around and runs away, and Inigo, overcome with rage, just chases him. Forgets the whole mission. They all have sympathetic missions, kind of.
Yeah.
But he just wants to kill the man who killed his father.
Fezzik is there. He gets down the hallway. Inigo gets down the hallway.
He encounters a locked door.
Yeah.
And he's giving it a good go to break it down himself, because he really wants this guy.
Plus, they had to make it look like it was hard to get into, because then when Andre the Giant shows up, he just shows up and he just knocks the door down
with
one
his
punch.
hand, I believe, right?
Just like slaps it open.
Which would be the equivalent of like swinging a bowling ball at it, a full-on 16-pound bowling. I'll bet you his hands weighed around 16 pounds apiece. If you, I don't know how you weigh a hand.
I kind of hope. I just want to know if they donated his body to science.
Oh, families often have a hard time with that.
Yeah.
Won't do it.
If I had some weird, trippy, disease or something freakish, other than like the size of my head and stuff, other than like that,
you could regrow that shitty redneck beard thing you had and donate that to science. That was kind of freakish. You're very upset now.
So, dick. If I had something like that, I'd be like, hey, if I had like a third arm or something, like fucking when I'm dead, take my body. Like figure that out. You know what I mean? Like it would.
Well, here's the thing though. You don't donate your body to science or anything like that. You don't actually get a say.
Whether you get to or
you
not?
get to put it on your card like organ donor.
Yeah.
But then your next of kin legally gets to decide what happens.
I've made it very fucking clear. Like I don't give a shit. If somebody can use my shit, then burn the remains. I don't give a fuck. Take my eyeballs.
Well, I'm just saying.
Liver shot.
Legally, whoever your next of kin is gets to decide what. So if you like owed them $20 or something, fuck him. Let's not have his kidneys say, well, let's face it, your kidneys aren't going to be.
No, my kidneys are going to be.
My liver
is
not going to. Yeah,
dust already.
We got a liver donor, so you'll die of psoriasis in a week. So they won't do that.
Well, they'll put it in somebody,
lungs,
and then they'll.
Also, your lungs, Rusty, you're what, pack a day?
No.
You try. Your lungs kind of had some carcinogens run through them.
I smoke. I drink too much. I probably have too much sex.
Yeah.
It's
what? But all that said,
I live.
Well, if you're dead, it's your daughter, I think, will be your next of kin. Or if you're married, your wife or your brother.
Married.
Huh?
I just tell her, like I've told everybody my whole life, like it doesn't matter. Like
part me out.
Part me out. Get what you can for the frame and just burn the shit out of it. I don't care. Like stay and don't put me in like a fancy. Just put me in the cardboard box they give you. My dad was in a cardboard box. Like he died, and we had to go like check on the remains or whatever, and they give you a cardboard box full of ashes.
Here's what I want.
The cheapest way possible to do it.
I want an accurate recreation of Donnie's funeral.
All right.
From The Big Lebowski.
You
play John Goodman. You look just like him. You play John Goodman. Bowski, Fred Bowski could be the dude. He'll have to grow out his hair or whatever. Fine. There'll be some long-haired fucking comic running around and you videotape it and put it on the internet. And then I'll get 1 million hits on YouTube. I'll be okay. But you know what? Okay. If I'm dead, you can take my organs and give them to people, but no poor people.
Just rich people?
Wealthy people.
Why?
Just be a dick.
You're a dick.
I don't think a podcast is a binding last will and testament, especially since I'm probably going to edit that part out.
Oh, okay. So they go. Oh yeah, he finally gets to fight, and Inigo Montoya finally fights.
Well, he comes around that corner. He's got, he's running around. He's coming around the corner, and the Duke of Treyu
just stabs him.
Throws a knife at him from across the room.
Throws a knife. That's right.
Like, he's
chunk right in the stomach.
And they have that great conversation. He's like, "You killed my dad." He's like, "I remember you,
a little Spanish prick."
Oh yeah, I did that to your face.
Yeah,
and you didn't get that sword. And your whole life. I think that's the saddest thing I've ever heard. You're like, motherfucker! Like, you get so mad at this point in the movie. You're like, this isn't gonna work.
And he goes to do the death blow, which I like. The Six Finger Man goes to do the death blow, and Inigo deflects it, but he deflects it into his fucking arm.
Get it so far away.
So he stabs him there, then does the other side, stabs him in the other arm. He's bleeding from his gut.
In the book, so he clutches his gut, right?
Yeah.
In the book, he reaches inside himself, and it goes into somewhat graphic detail about holding he doesn't know what in place so he can sword fight. Yeah. Maybe this is rated 80s, but only if you read it. Like, that is... Because you can't have that in the movie. We didn't have that sort of Fight Club video technology in 1980 to get a hand. I guess you could do it with, like, some sausage and, like, a bellows and a gloved hand, and you could film something that looked like that. But it's also too much for kids.
Yeah.
It's okay in a book.
So he gets up the courage and he starts going after him, and he repeatedly saying, "My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die." Like, repeatedly. Stop saying that!
And I won't spoiler anything here, but I believe that this sequence is somewhat of an inspiration for a similar sequence in Game of Thrones. What do you think?
Which one? What? You lost me. Which one in Game of Thrones was it?
Oh, you don't know?
What sequence?
There's a trial by combat right towards the end, I think, of where we are in the show, and there is a repeated phrase during that trial by combat.
Yeah, where he says it
over and over and over and over to give him the strength. I think, even subconsciously, lots of things are tropes. I wonder if this is a trope. I don't know.
Once you
but
get
it
to
reminds me. Of course, everything reminds me of everything. That's a problem I have.
Yeah.
Monkey's Island reminds me of Shazam. And
I think at a certain point, if something's made, it's like, how many movies can you quote from your childhood? You know what I mean? Okay, those are in your head for fucking life, and it would be impossible not to write things down or like be a writer like we are doing comedy. It's impossible not to toss things in from your childhood. Like,
I've done bits where I've been doing it for a while, and I go, wait a minute, is that a thing that I subconsciously co-opted from Evening at the Improv on A&E in 1990, whatever?
Yeah.
And I go, I think it was.
Yeah.
And I have to stop doing the bit.
It just gets injected into your brain, and you're like, fuck, I stole a joke without noticing.
Didn't steal it.
Well, yeah.
Stealing, there's intent and all this stuff, but it's like, I thought along this channel and I wrote something pretty similar, and I have to ditch it because it did not actually come from me. It came from someone else's process.
Yeah.
If I come up with the exact same thing as somebody else is doing that's working at the same time, and they're in Portland and I'm in Seattle, or they're in LA and I'm in New York, I'll keep the bit because I came to it on my own.
Yeah.
But when I've subconsciously lifted something, what we're trying to say is George R.R. Martin's a dirty fucking hack, and he should stop writing. I actually got retweeted by George R.R. Martin once.
Did you?
Yeah. It works either way, so I can't remember the tweet because I've since deleted that Twitter, but I tweeted, if George R.R. Martin wrote the Bible, there would be either more or less incest, and everyone would die at the end of the first book. So it works either way. I don't remember. I think it was less incest. I thought that was funnier because there's so much incest.
So then where we were...
So he is... It kind of cuts back and forth. He's losing, and Wesley is totally out on his back trying to save his wife-to-be, but he's in an argument with the prince. They have a little, perfect breasts are very rare.
Because she's
it makes all the 8-year-old boys in the world think of breasts, and I assume it makes all the 8-year-old girls think, I'm going to have breasts someday. That's going to be weird. Maybe I'll be in a situation where I'm thinking about shoving a knife through. Which, by the way, suicide? My God, whatever happened to rope? You're going to stab yourself in the heart? That's a Japanese
fuck that up
seppuku.
really easily.
Yeah, you might just be the woman with a horrible scar, and he's going to strangle her later in the evening anyway.
Yeah.
So she's really doing his work for him.
She was really just going to die all the way around. Yeah. And then I like how he's laying on the bed and like she crawled on top of him to kiss him. And it's like, oh, Wesley, you're back. And he's like, please hold me. Or she goes, please hold me. And he's like,
he's a pile of spaghetti with hair.
Yeah.
He
he's
can't
like,
do
I
anything.
can't. And she picks his head up.
And it falls.
And he like, she just bonks a bonk joke. Like he just bonks his head on the bed and it was hilarious. And then the prince comes in, bombs in and is like, and they have that amazing conversation where Humperdinck pulls his sword and is like, to the death. And Wesley's like, no, to the pain. And then he explains what he's going to do
and
to him.
I remember, you just vaguely remember kind of your first impression of this movie. I do at least. I remember going, how long can he manage to stall this out? Because you think it's going to take him 15 minutes to regain his full strength, but he can't do anything almost.
Yeah.
He got away from Fezzik because Fezzik had wandered off to take that door. So he's somewhat ambulatory.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean he's made of ambulances. It means he can move around.
Motherfucker. God damn.
But you don't know what, and you're like, he's going to get his ass handed to him by this prince.
And he's stalling for so long that it was just.
But then it turns into an intimidation tactic,
and it totally fucking works. And out of
this
nowhere
makes so much sense with the rest of the story because he explains earlier that the Dread Pirate Roberts taught him that fear was like his best weapon.
Yeah.
So I never had thought of that till just now. But
good job.
Yeah, thank you. It was film interpretation. This is kind of like late high school bong passing level philosophy I'm expositing here. But still, I'm proud of myself for making a connection.
It's good.
Yeah, and in The Wire, one time one of the gangsters gets murdered. One time one of the gangsters gets murdered. Then later his the mirror of him in the police department gets fired. They say the same thing. Anyway.
I'm going to have to watch that eventually.
Yeah. I don't advocate that anyone watches it. I think if you're interested in cinema and storytelling or something, it's a good thing to watch. But I'm not someone who says, you have to watch The Wire. There's so many guys like that. I'm just like, if I date someone, I make them watch it.
Really?
No. That would be the first half of the first season. So slow.
Wire and chill? No.
It's all chill at that point because it takes so long to get going. The Wire. It's not like this movie. This movie moves really really fast.
Yeah.
Just Shazam, Shazam, Shazam.
They get to the he's like intimidating him, and then I liked when he was like he's supposed to be paralyzed, and he just gets out of bed and points the sword at Humperdinck. And Humperdinck,
but you can tell he's wavering. He goes, "Can I actually stand up?" And he's asking himself the question, kind of.
Yeah.
And he manages to get up, and you're like, "Oh, hope Humperdinck doesn't see through this. Otherwise, the Spaniard's going to have to handle."
But he buys it. He totally Humperdinck pushes out, just drops his sword, and then skips over to the chair in a very gay, very fairy-ish way.
Oh, yeah.
Hops over to the chair, and then the chick ties him up. And that's pretty much, that's the last time you see Humperdinck. And the movie's pretty much...
Yeah. Well, he's been defeated, and kind of one of the best ways to defeat a villain is to show the villain that the villain is wrong.
Yeah.
And then he's been called a coward, then proven to be a coward.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Tied up, and then the Spaniard comes into the room to check on everybody, bleeding.
Yeah.
And then
He's doing a little better, though.
Yeah.
For a man holding his own guts into his stomach.
And then hear Andre the Giant yell for Inigo. And he's just got some horses down.
Yeah, he's like, I found 4 horses.
Yeah.
And I thought, hey, that's as many as we'll need if we find the lady. Hey, lady.
Yeah, hey, lady.
Hey, lady.
And she waves at him. Yeah. It's adorable. And then she jumps out the window and fucking movie done. Credits roll pretty much. They ride off.
They ride off, and it cuts back to the child sick in bed and Grandpa.
Yeah.
It's like, I really like the story or whatever. Can you come back and read it to me tomorrow? Because apparently kid's got fucking tuberculosis, or he's like sick in bed for days at a time.
First off, as a dad, that fucking kid would have went to school. He was not sick enough. I don't give a shit.
He doesn't look sick at all.
At all. I'd be like, get your shit and get to school.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I made my daughter go to... Anyways, I wouldn't buy that kid's sick. At all.
He doesn't seem...
he's not.
There's like a tissue box on the bedpost or whatever. Yeah, he just wants to play. He learned like a valuable lesson, though, that books can be fun. Which is great to learn from a movie. It's like, let's get a reading rainbow going at the end of this. Reading Rainbow, I think, with the original cast is coming back.
I know, which as a web series, which is awesome.
And there's like dinosaurs walking through the shot, and they're going to add a scream when Luke falls down the thing, and Geordie LaForge shoots first. Versus that copy of War and Peace. Like,
all right, that
Grandpa, can you come read this to me again? As you wish.
As you wish.
As you wish.
Then credits roll. Great fucking movie.
It is a great movie. It is a 90-minute movie. We're at about, without adding all the commercials and stuff we add in. Are you ready for this? 2:39:22.
What?
Yeah, we've doubled the time of the movie.
Nice.
So we're going to make a promise to you, audience. We're going to tighten this up a bit. I don't know that we can
not go on tangents.
Yeah, we go on tangents, but we'll keep them a little bit more directed, and we'll maybe sharpen up what plot point. I don't know. Something's got to change here, because we are 2:39:45 right now. And this is a 90-minute-ish movie. I think it's overlong. I had a good time, too. But I think we can produce an even sharper, tighter product. So my promise to you is that no podcast episode after this one will be less than 4 hours long. Actually, we got some exciting stuff coming up.
Oh, yeah.
We're on Twitter, Rated 80s, 80s. We're on the web, ratedAities.com, spelled 80s or Rated 80s, 80s. We're going to be on iTunes, Rated 80s.
80s,
80s, probably. That's, I think, the easier way. I got both of them for the website, just in case, because you tell people the website, they lose their fucking mind if they don't know exactly what it is.
Then we also have
involvement in the giant lightsaber battle.
Yeah. I'm also part of the Sith Lords, which is a social club that we look like bikers, but it's all patches for Star Wars.
Segways.
Fuck you.
And lightsabers, segways.
We have minivans, all right?
Jacket. Yeah, it's a single father's bikers club.
But there's going to be a lightsaber duel in Seattle. I'm sure you'll hear about it on Facebook. We got thousands of people. The Sith Lords kind of sponsor that, and they're kind of. I hang out with those guys a lot. It's pretty fun. And then, we also have, if you get a chance, if you like us, also check out the Grit City podcast, because there's some pretty cool guys that do their thing. They have another podcast.
We're looking at Northwest Convergence on radio pretty soon, although we're going to have to figure out a format for that, because it's 2:41:18 is not...
We can't hand them a 3-hour show and then be perfectly
happy
with it.
No one's looking for 2:41:24 worth of content, I do believe.
I think the listeners that stayed around to listen to this all
are the real heroes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We will shorten it up, though. It's still a work in progress.
That's going to be tight. Yeah. Well, we're, 5 or 6 episodes in total, including like the beta episodes and the episode we never recorded that I referenced, or we recorded half of it and then stopped because I was angry with it.
Because he just didn't like it. But he's the tech guy, so I can't argue with him. He handles all the computer shit. I just kind of...
Rusty throws a rock at a guy's head and then asks him if we will face each other as men.
That's my job. I laugh a bunch at all of his jokes. That's my role.
This has become much more common.
Fun.
It's been a growing, developing thing.
Yeah.
And if you've listened to even one episode, we love you. And we really love you if you've listened all the way to the end of this, especially with the long, porno rights rant that connected to nothing at the beginning.
But it was funny.
Yeah, I think it was funny in a weird,
Oh, and if you have a suggestion for a movie you want us to do, we need some help. Just
we don't need help, but you know what?
No, but in comments, movies that we missed or haven't seen, maybe some
we want
rare
a community.
ones.
We want to build a community around this, and we want friends. And you can help us, I suppose. I don't like grocery shopping, so if you live near me. And you want to support... I also don't like spending money. So this is 2 things you could do.
You can pay
just
and
go
feed me.
I don't like cooking either.
I really hate... You know what I hate jerking off. My arm gets sore. If somebody could just come over and help me... Oh, that's weirder than your fucking grocery one? Why are you looking at me that way?
I'm just trying to think of who.
Who would jerk me off?
I assume, I was thinking of Shazam!
Whatever. Can't get into that. Yeah, but suggest movies for us to watch.
We're going to tighten up the content a little bit. I will say we'll tighten up the content. If you want to jerk Rusty off or go to Safeway for me, drop us a line. Let us know.
Leave it in the comments or wherever you can or email us on our website when that's finally up and going or whatever. And I think next week we're going to do a different movie. We're not going to say which one we do.
I don't want to say it. No, what if...
But we got some coming up that I think we're pretty excited about.
We're going to enjoy. Yeah.
So, thanks for listening.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Check us out. Follow us on Twitter.
Yeah.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Dear God, please. Even if you never watch them on YouTube, it's really the only place you can find us right now. But if you subscribe to it, if enough people subscribe to our YouTube channel, YouTube will give us a URL that we can tell people how to get to our YouTube channel. But until you have 100 people, it's like when you're 15, you're like, oh, I want to get a job. Some experience required. What the fuck is this shit? Well, YouTube's doing that with URLs. Like, dicks. Every other website gives you a goddamn URL. YouTube, no. Just watch this Irish Spring commercial before your 2-second video that you want to watch. We love you, YouTube, but fucking pull your shit together, motherfucker. Intervention, YouTube.
All right.
Yeah, let's get out. Let's stop.
We're up there. Next week, Schindler's List.
Oh, God.
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Hello. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Hello! My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Stop saying that! Hello! My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die! No! Offer me money. Yes. Power to promise me that. All that I have and more. Please. Offer me everything I ask for. Anything you want. I want my father back, you son of a bitch.